Hello! 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 Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing well. Hi, 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 hi. We need some like... I need some like background music that's I'm fine with Zelda today, but I'd like it to be like a little bumpier. Why don't we try this one? That should be okay. Hello! It's good to see you all. Welcome to tonight's stream, which should be boom! Hi, jump scare. Should be that's how I show up in all situations. Like if you're expecting me for a hangout or a date or anything, you think you're safe, and then I literally just pop into existence. I'm about to sneeze. There we go. Excuse me. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Tonight should be fun. This is a stream we've been looking forward to for a good little bit. We're continuing our experimental Sotek phase. Yeah, that's right. We're experimenting together. Isn't that so carefully worded and totally not hard to take out of context at all? But we're messing around with the big thing that we're trying is just different kinds of streams, different kinds of concepts as far as what could be fun to do, rather than just relying on playing video games. Because sometimes, sometimes we're not in the mood for video games. Sometimes we want a little spice in life. Sometimes we want something a little different. So this is one of our little different attempts, and seeing what that looks and feels like for us. Man, my nose is so ticklish right now. We have like, it's super windy down in Texas today. Excuse me. And I'm guessing the wind must be blowing in from like West Texas or something, because there's like a lot of dust in it. It's like a big dust storm. It reminds me of when I lived in West Texas, where it's like, it's almost like it's foggy, but it's no clouds or anything. It's literally just like there's so much wind, it's just picking up dust everywhere. It's making my nose very ticklish. Anywho, hello, welcome. Sotek date night stream win. Hey, you know what? That could be one of those experimental streams we do at some point. There is so much cool stuff going on that I want to show y'all, but I can't yet. Like there are so many things I've got cooking that I'm really excited to one day reveal. Darius, how is Andy feeling? He's feeling better. Andy still isn't 100%. But he is feeling much better. I chatted with him yesterday. And he's feeling pretty optimistic about Sunday, where we're going to be chatting with Matt Alfred. But you know, he's still a little bit on the mend. What happened to the Marvel Rivals stream? That's a great question. So I thought I had scheduled with the little group I was chatting with to play Marvel Rivals or just something this week, and apparently that was not true. I thought the four of us had agreed to play, but it turned out I was the only one who seems to have thought that. So I guess I goofed or something. But yeah, no one else was available, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just go do something else then. I forget what I ended up doing yesterday, but I think I went and worked on some scripts and stuff. Oh, I was working on the Norska script for DLC proposal stuff, because I did a poll over on YouTube, which a lot of people, a decent amount of people voted on. I don't think a ton of people noticed it, but I did a big poll where I was like, hey, let's do, like, would you rather us go straight to the Tomb Kings, or would you rather us go do the other side of the Norska video? Because when I did the Norska video, I mentioned that it was only functionally one half of what I had in mind for Norska, where I had essentially a monster pack, and I also had a human pack. And so I asked everyone, do you want me to go straight to the Tomb Kings and we could swing back around to the human pack later, or would you rather us just keep on with Norska and go immediately to the immediately to the Norska humans? And a bunch of people voted and seem to have preferred that I keep on keeping on with Norska. So I've already started working on the Norska human video, which should be a good time. That one I anticipate will be a little shorter because it doesn't require quite as much explanation. There's technically less in it, because for the monster one, of course, we had the introducing a brand new lore of magic with the lore of the lore of Mists, or the lore of the marsh, and that is not a thing with the human pack. The human pack does not have any new lores of magic, because although it has a lot of wizards and stuff in it, it of course relies on the magic we already had. Spartan, no, I will be playing Vermintide tomorrow. So I spoke with Mel, and we're gonna play Vermintide tomorrow evening. So I've got some other stuff I've got to do as well. but we're gonna definitely do Vermintide tomorrow night. So that is on the chopping block because we do want to get that in before the event goes away. Quick head taker video win. Thank you, Mads, for the super chat. I don't have a strict date, but I talked a bit about this in a little bit of in the YouTube membership stream that I did. I actually talked a lot about the quick video, and I showed off the script and talked about where it's at, what still needs to be done, things like that. The big thing that I still need to do with that, the main thing is that I need to get a I've been speaking with a fan of the channel who is into voice acting, who has been recommending how to take what we've kind of got here, setup wise, and add to it. Because currently, for the sake of like lore videos, I do not like how my setup sounds at all in the slightest whatsoever. So I'm going to be getting, essentially purchasing, a kind of like a portable booth, that once it is set up, I can, put it around my microphone and it'll deaden the sound a ton, because right now I'm just kind of like talking into the room and I just don't like the way it sounds when I have to do a serious video. Like I cringe horribly when I have to listen to my own videos right now, because like it's fine for this sort of stuff, like more casual things and streaming and stuff, especially when there's other audio going on, like a video game or whatever. But yeah, I've been getting some really nice advice and help from someone in the community, which has been great. So once that's done, we can start recording. Though there's still a couple parts that I want to touch up some more as well. But anyway, stuff's happening. Sparrowhawk just finished reading the new Go Trek book. I hope you liked it or liked it as well. I have bought it. I have not read it yet. It is literally sitting on my it's sitting on my bed. It's sitting on my bed and Sadie keeps using it as a pillow. But it's in my grasp. I have just not had the time to sit down and read it yet. Something I've been really thinking about a lot based on a conversation I had recently with another streamer is that I probably need to have like one day a week or maybe one day every 2 weeks where I don't do any electronics. Like I turn the computer all the way off. I can have my phone on, but I'm not allowed to look at it. And I have a purely no electronics day, where like I don't play any video games, I don't look at Twitter or Discord or anything, and I just hang out with my books. And that would give me the ability to actually have days where I can just have committed, set aside time to read, because that is something I have struggled with a lot in the past few months, is that there's a lot of shit that I need to read, but especially when it comes to like novels and stuff, I have found that I don't have the time, and if I try and read them, I get distracted very easily by something going on. So I think if I had in my schedule days where it's like, okay, you're not allowed to do anything electronic oriented, all you're allowed to do is like, the only things I would be allowed to do would be like exercise, hang out with Sadie, and read books. So that's probably something I need to implement in my schedule, that I do like once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, because there's a number of projects where I need to reread some books before I tackle that particular thing, and that would be very helpful. So anyway, the Go Trek book kind of falls under that. Looks like Space Marine 3 will have big Battlefront-like vibes from the description. I mean, it could be anything. The Space Marine 3, that whole thing is a little weird to me. I kind of feel like Games Workshop pressured Saber Interactive to announce the game, because they announced it so early. Like, I personally, and this is just my preference. Personally, I do not like when a video game is announced that early. Like, they haven't started on it. They just started on it, right? They're like, oh, it's in development. Like, it has started development. It's like, great. Now I gotta wait like 4 or 5 years? Or like 3 years or something? Like you're gonna be waiting for a hot while. Now granted, like Space Marine 2 is still got plenty planned for development. Like they're still gonna do lots of content for Space Marine 2 in the long run, but I personally do not like when games get announced that far in advance. Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 is exactly how I feel about it. Like, like Metroid Prime 4 is another one. Metroid Prime 4, right? Like, I hate when a company announces something more than a year in advance. Because it's kind of more of like a vague promise. Because development, any number of things could happen where like they end up going a direction, deciding like, oh, you know what, we don't actually want to go this direction with the game, so we're gonna scrap this work and we're gonna go back to this drawing board. And like or like Silk Song, right? Oh my god, Silk Song, Jesus Christ. Like, talk about a game that got announced and then it's been like a fable, a myth since then. So yeah, I was not a fan of that news. I was not a fan of that, personally.
Cursed Sotek spawn.
Hi.
Hello there. Alex, thank you so much for the 46 months. I really appreciate it. Do not speak such lies. Yeah, I really don't. I saw that news and I was like, that's not it, yo. Like, I don't know. I feel like whenever I see them announce something like that, I feel like that's almost more of like, hey, remember we exist? Remember Space Marine? Isn't Space Marine so cool? Like, isn't Space Marine such a great game? We're making another one. Eventually, it's like, what? 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 I don't know. It comes off as weirdly desperate to me. Did I watch the latest Warhammer side episode? Oh, do you mean Lawhammer? I assume you mean Lawhammer.
Memes, please.
I have not watched it yet. It's queued up on my third screen, but I haven't watched it yet. Gentos, thank you. Don't worry, we're about to get into memes in just a second. We're getting into it here in just a second. I'm just kind of chatting, getting our little Katsudan in, allowing people to come in and see the notifications and get comfortable and all that stuff. But don't worry, we're gonna be getting into it in just a minute. Sotek, where is the Dawi beer and the orc cheese? I feel like that I feel like that's the setup to some sort of disturbing joke. Maybe that's a genuine question, but I feel like that's a setup to something horrifying or something. I don't know. That's spook. I don't. What? Is that an honest question, or am I being set up? Gmander 115 just made a bad financial decision. Bought $80 worth of pirate ogre SDLs. Grawl Gristlebeard's boys are coming. That's fucking awesome. That sounds like an excellent financial decision. Or you can just blame it on the fact they're pirates. The pirates stole your money. Excellent. Fantastic. Excellent. Ogre pirates are great. I love ogre pirates. Actually, G-Mander, I would recommend also, there's an ogre warband for Warhammer Underworlds you could pick up. Black Powder's Buccaneers. So if you want to get some extra minis, getting Black Powder's Buccaneers, I think would be an excellent addition to your ogre pirate army, because that's literally what they are. They're ogre pirates. Well, it's a singular ogre pirate that has like a parrot, a monkey, and he's got 2 little pirate nobblars. So feel free to check that out. All right. With that, I think we've had enough kind of casual chat time. So without further ado, I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to roll out the memes. I think it's time to roll out So, a couple of notes about said memes is that the moderators were so kind as to go through them and make sure that nobody put anything super duper bad in, which of course means is shorthand for me saying that if there's anything super bad in here, it's not my fault, it's their fault. I'm gonna pass the buck. I'm gonna be an irresponsible person and blame somebody else. So anywho, we have a Discord thread where y'all have had far too much time to submit memes, which I distinctly regret, because it occurred to me that most streamers, when they do a meme review, generally speaking, they seem to give their communities 24 hours to submit content. And I guess because this was our first time, I thought nobody would submit anything, I guess. So I gave y'all like a week. And it turns out that was a bad idea. It turns out that was not the correct move. So, there is far too much I have been told. There are far too many memes. So we're gonna do our best to get through as many as we can within kind of the time allotment for this stream. And then any that we don't get through, we will do next time we do a meme review, which if this is fun and we have a good time and everybody really likes it and lots of people hit that fucking like button or whatever on YouTube and leave a comment going, haha, meme's funny, laugh, fat man, yeah, haha, then we'll do more of these. And if nobody watches it or we don't have a good time for some reason, then we won't. So it just depends. Anywho, I just want to thank everyone in advance for taking the time to submit your memes. I'm going to do my best to get through a lot of them, and not like waste too much time. And, yeah, one of the communities I'm in, the streamer has only just caught up upon 12 plus months of memes. It took them 15 to 24 videos. Holy shit. Well, okay, so at least I'm in good company. Jesus. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna turn this music on repeat. That way I don't have to worry about getting new music. And let's get into it. All right. So, I will admit that I came in here once just to check on things, and I saw Biofoot. Biofoot dumped so many memes in right at the opening. Like, I don't know if Biofoot just had his meme folder ready to go, or like what was going on in his head. But Biofoot came in and was like, ha! Just like threw buckets, literal just buckets of memes before anybody else came in. So we're gonna hop into it and see what all he said. So when the Flesh Eater Knight fails to charge, Sir Better Beer, you beefed it. So I will say, I love this show. I'm a shitty person, and I've only really seen it on YouTube Shorts. I haven't actually subscribed and watched Game Changer yet, but I need to, because Brennan Lee Mulligan is like one of the funniest fucking people on the internet. He's wonderful. All right, good lord, we've got so many Biofoot memes to get to. Let's get through this. Which just, I feel like, oh, this looks like it's from the, and granted, I live in a very specific part of the internet, so don't be hurt, please, if I don't get a meme, because I live in a very specific corner of the internet, and the internet's a big place. So, like, I don't know who this is, but I do know that all the problems... Oh, Call of Cthulhu. All the problems are caused by fish people. All of the problems. Biofoot, you know, I haven't asked Biofoot yet. I know Biofoot loves fish people. Like, he dearly loves them. Desperately loves them. And I've never asked him why. And I feel like I should. Because Biofoot has been... If you don't know Biofoot, Biofoot has been one of the most consistent people in the community. But his consistency has revolved purely and utterly around fish people. Completely. Without reserve, without pause, without, like, anything. He's just all about them fish. And I don't know if it's a fetish thing. I don't know if it's because he is a fish person and he's, like, excited about representation. I don't know if it's because, like, he just likes sushi way too much. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on there. So I would advise you all to don't ever accept Biofoot's invitation into a dark alley, especially if it's near the beach. Don't go with him to any beaches. Don't go fishing with him, because he's probably insane and is probably up to things around bodies of water. So let's, you know, we should probably put out a PSA, to be honest. How does a skeleton blow a horn without lungs? So this is actually a good question. So that's a reasonable question, but I will say we've answered this in Warhammer Fantasy. Like, there's an answer for this, which is a stupid answer, but it's magic. That's what magic's for, is that skeletons are able to talk or emit sound and use things that they can't because of the way that dark magic interacts with their with them. Of that, their horns, they're able to blow into them and emit sound as they did in life due to sorcery, because of, like, the death magic, this amethyst magic that clings to them, often allows them to have echoes of abilities that they bore in life, so that they are able to do things like shout or make noises that they're physically not capable of making, or blow on an instrument that, you know, a wind instrument, well, I should say, in particular, the thing about a brass instrument, like the horn, is that it's even weirder, honestly, because if you had, like, a woodwind type instrument, it's a little more like, okay, because you just kind of put your mouth on it and blow, and that's, like, a little less crazy. But for a horn, you have to have lips, because the way you play this kind of instrument is you vibrate your lips by blowing air through it, where you're like, right, you make your lips vibrate. So horns are fucking ridiculous on a skeleton. They're stupid on a skeleton, but, you know, magic. So there you go. We also the Teeth Fairy. Okay, I actually like this one. That's very funny. I feel like human teeth would not have good value on the orc market. Oh look, I mean he got a Balta. He got a Shooter. He got some Daka from the Teeth Fairy. I think that's a very reasonable change. Honestly, this kid should be more appreciative, not less appreciative. Instead of only getting like a single pound or a single sterling, whatever the fuck is the silly little British word for 1 pound. Like he got an actual weapon of war that he could sell for significantly better. Like this orc clearly has a bad comprehension of value trade, because like that, yeah, no, that he got out way better on this deal. But I do love the Tea Fairy being an orc. That's fantastic. Those are euros. Whatever. It's all made up, ridiculous, silly currency to me. I don't need to hear about your. I don't need to hear about your ridiculous medieval currencies, you silly Europeans. It's not real anyway. When the DM doesn't do voices for the NPCs. Oh, just just having a sign on. I will say I try really hard to do voices for all my NPCs, even though they're terrible. And what I'll also say is I'm not calling out anyone that I've played with before, except for I totally am. I don't appreciate when I'm doing a Warhammer Fantasy campaign and people expect me to have a different British accent or European accent for every fucking character, because I only have so many variants of British person. I have a lot of American accents, and there are characters that I think could be perfectly reasonably portrayed using an American accent, and I don't appreciate when like I have like someone from Stirland, so I'm like, oh well, they're the Empire's equivalent of like a country bumpkin, so they should have like a southern, like a super southern drawl accent, and then I do it, and people are like, you're breaking my immersion. And it's like, well, fuck you. It's not my fault that I don't have enough accents for that. So yeah, this is sometimes where you end up. This is where you end up if you complain. So don't leave your DMs alone and appreciate what they do for you. Otherwise you end up with this. This is heresy. This is the highest form of heresy. Obviously this is not a Warhammer Fantasy Lizard Man, because otherwise this is ultimate heresy. That is a red-crested Saurian lizard man eating snake on a skewer. This is Skaven propaganda, is what this is. This is fucking chaos, insurgency, bad mouthing. This is heinous. It's a red-crested Argonian. Well, clearly the red-crested Argonians have lost any measure of respect for their founders, their superiors, and this is why they're inferior. They should be ashamed of themselves. What is this? Like a... Oh, we have a dwarf and an elf. Hark! Well, elf boy, can you do the same? I don't see why not. The elf picks up a stupid amount of weight. How can a bean sprout like you lift all that? See for yourself. Hey, these plates weigh almost nothing. Of course, they're elven made. Cheater, they're supposed to be heavy. Why? Wouldn't it be harder to move around? Well, you know, yes, elves do cheat. And these are Ithelmer weights. So you have Gromrel weights, which would be significantly heavier and sturdier. And then you have your Ithelmer weights, which would be so much lighter. Because Ithelmer is the elven super metal in Warhammer Fantasy. And it's like just as good, if not better than steel. Usually it's better than steel, but it's super light. That's like its main focus, is that it's incredibly light. So the elves are able to have knights in full plate armor, So, you know, your silver helms and your dragon princes, where their armor is as heavy as it's as durable and resistant to damage and protects the bearer just as well as the heavy steel of the Empire knights, but it is significantly lighter. So their steeds are able to move far faster. Their warriors are able to be far more agile and such, despite being fully covered. That being said, this meme is silly to me because the weight is how you get stronger. And I don't know why this dwarf doesn't know that. I don't know why this dwarf isn't aware of what the point of weightlifting is. Because the point of weightlifting is that it's supposed to be heavy enough that it's difficult, but not so heavy that you like can't do it, or that it like genuinely hurts you to do it. It's supposed to be just heavy enough that it causes your muscles to get micro tears that then heal and make you stronger. So this dwarf is an idiot. is the only like, the elf is also stupid, but the dwarf, this dwarf is not smart. this is a stupid dwarf. The elf having all these weights, like, you could argue maybe the elf is just trying to show off. But like this defies the point of weightlifting. Like, why would you lift weights if they're effortless to lift? Other than the elf just trying to show off and just being an absolute little shithead about it. Which, you know, elves. Don't Argonians come from Bethesda? Yes. I am not saying that Warhammer Lizardmen have anything to do with Argonians. I am simply saying, because of my taste of Lizardmen, that this particular Lizardman, which is an Argonian, is a heretic. Even though he has no idea what Sotek is, he's still a heretic and is therefore inferior. Chaos dwarfs. No, you don't understand. I'm a servant of chaos. I'm a timeless demon from the realm of chaos, and not some tool to be slotted into something I'd manifested so I could possess someone. Please, no. Get in the fucking axe. This situation is actually much worse than this appears. And I'll tell you why. First of all, that's a plague bearer that has 3 eyes, which is weird. Plague bearers are supposed to have 1 eye. They're supposed to be cyclopean. Very odd that this one has 3, though. I mean, it's in like the Nurgle symbol, so it's not that heinous. But it really should only have 1 eye, unless it's like a special kind of demon. But the thing that makes this extra bad, right, that the author or the artist is probably not aware of, the thing that makes this extra bad is that all plague bearers were once mortals. Right? Or at least the vast majority of them were once mortals. Maybe not necessarily all of them, but the vast majority of them. So this is most likely somebody who was living a normal life, minding their own fucking business, and then they got sick with Nurgle's rot, and they died a horrible, agonizing, like impossibly distressing death, as Nurgle's rot literally infects their very soul, and they go through like the most horrible disease possible, to the point where it rots their soul out through pure despair and turns them into an immortal, nightmarish plague bearer, only to then get summoned into reality by a fucking chaos dwarf and going, oh, you're a battery now. Like, into the X, fuck you, you're a battery now. Like, not only were you not allowed to die, and you went from being like some sexy noblewoman or chill Bretonian peasant into a nightmarish, fuck you, I'm the ugliest thing imaginable demon whose life is just endless suffering. But then you also get turned into a battery by some douchebag chaos dwarf and locked into some random weapon that they're probably gonna sell to some absolute chump like Chaos Marauder somewhere in exchange for gold or slaves. Like, man, what a What a rough existence. What a terrible existence. I thought plague bearers sing, they count. Plague bearers count. It kind of sounds like singing because there's a rhythmic thing to it. So they plague bearers, they count and they rhyme. So it's almost kind of more like rapping, but it's like rapping that you're compelled to do and there's no escape from it, and it's always disease themed. So it doesn't sound really like singing. It has a lyrical quality to it. There's a rhythm to it. But I wouldn't really call it singing. It's kind of more like mumble rapping. Would probably be the most appropriate description. Then we've got no. A responsible adult says no to non-Euclidean space. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, if a Tzeentch demon comes up and offers you an absolute fucking mind palace box, say no. Say no to Tzeentchian artifacts, kids. You know that meme? Not meme, but like, you know that old I guess you could call it a meme, but you know the old commercial of like, this is your brain, and it like shows an egg, and then they're like, this is your brain on drugs, and they smash the egg in like a pan that is really hot to like turn it into like a fried egg, even though that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like a really stupid analogy because that's not how that works. But you know the commercial. It's kind of like that. So don't accept. Also, I don't remember what non-Euclidean means. If I know it's a term that I think what's his face? Lovecraft was really fond of using, but I also think that it's something that exists pretty normally in reality to my understanding. But Lovecraft was like notoriously bad at understanding concepts like mathematics or geometry because his constitution was too frail for math. So he didn't get very well educated in those subjects. So he would use terms like this that don't really work. So there's that. Paul, thank you so much. Paul Atreides, thank you so much for the super chat. Hi, unfortunately I have to watch this tomorrow due to lack of time. I hope you all having a nice evening / other. Also, I really hope that some of the tariff memes will be shown, or at least memory TV memes. Oh, we'll get to those. We'll get to those, don't worry. All right, what else we got here from BioFlip? Study shows rats can learn to drive tiny cars, and they find it relaxing. And then you've just got the most chaotic image of a Doom Wheel imaginable. Doom Wheels are super funny. So a lot of people, I don't think, realize how a Doom Wheel actually works. Because when people see a Doom Wheel, I think a lot of people, understandably, assume that the Doom Wheel is propelled by a motor. That's not true. Doom Wheels are propelled by rats. Basically, a Doom Wheel is a giant hamster wheel. That's all it is. It's literally just a hamster wheel that has a shitload of rat swarms. So like a bunch of rats that are super like hopped up on warpstone juice, and drugs and chemicals, and they just run fanatically, and the energy of them all screeching and running and makes the wheel turn, and the energy of the wheel turning powers all of the systems of the Doom Wheel, which then uses the machinery upon the Doom Wheel to activate its various systems. And then it's got warpstone crystals on the side that are able to be charged up by that excess energy, and they fire off lightning bolts to the sides. So it has warpstone in its machinery that helps power it, things that kind of make it move faster. But like the main force behind a Doom Wheel, like a lot of its main driving force is just a shitload of really juiced up rats. I think they're full on giant rats though. I don't think they're I want to say they're giant rats, not normal size rats. But it's a really stupid machine. It's very silly. Like it has elements that help power it, but a lot of its major power comes from just the rats, which is very silly. It's very, very silly. To be fair though, they are like roided up, absolutely like just their bodies are full of magical cocaine. And they just zip. But yeah, they're driven purely by rat horsepower and warpstone. That's it. There's no like gas, there's no fuel other than warpstone and lots of rats. Fun fact. you know, I don't think this necessarily occurred to me. But yeah, that it is. Yeah, it's literally just the giant from Monty Python for the Tzeentch Exalted Hero. There's always a part of me that has been amused at the idea that like I feel very confident saying that the Tzeentch Exalted Hero mutant is a singular guy that has been mutated into having 3 heads, and it's that his main head is blind. He has no eyes, right? His eye sockets are full of flesh, and then the left and the right head have 1 eye each. So each head perceives different kinds of information, and then the main head has a mouth that's able to speak. But I always love the idea that it would be so much more silly if it was 3 people that got fused into 1 body. Like, could you imagine how much it would fucking suck to be one of the 2 eyeball heads? Like, you don't have a mouth. Like, you have ears and a single eyeball. And that's it. like, though, it could be fun. You could argue that it would be very funny if, like, the blind head had all the control of the body as well. So it, like, has to try and rely on the other 2 to do their goddamn job of, like, looking at relevant information so that the one that's blind can swing and use that halberd in the correct fashion because he relies on sensory input from the other 2. So, like, imagine, just imagine, walk with me for a moment. Walk with me on this hypothetical journey. What if one of them was like a pervert, right? And on the battlefield, he spends the entire time just checking out like shapely men and women that they're fighting against. Like, just dudes just getting totally distracted by like jiggle physics on the battlefield. And because of that, the main head like cannot fucking see what's going on. And they're just getting like stabbed constantly because they're not looking at the right shit. I would find that very funny. It would be very stupid, but I would watch that show. Anyway. Let's see. Heroic dog saves family of 5 from herb roasted chicken. I've seen this show. I personally have witnessed many heroic animals making such sacrifices. Really, really great stuff. Actually, yeah, Debuz's right. I agree with Debuz, actually. It would be extra funny if the right head was really into stuff that the other 2 heads didn't appreciate. So, like, he's just a hardcore furry. So he's checking out furries the entire time. And he's just like, yeah. Yeah. And the other 2 are like, dude, stop. Like, this shit's gross. You're a fucking degenerate. Stop it. And he's like, I have no mouth. And I must cream. But I can't. So I'm just going to check out this stuff instead. And you 2 just have to deal with it. You two just have to deal. Also, do y'all miss... I do. Do y'all miss the days when The Onion used to be, like, good at making fun of things instead of being forced to deal with how insane the world has gotten? Because I remember when The Onion used to be, wow, look at The Onion and their crazy made-up scenarios. They're so funny. And now The Onion, like, genuinely seems to struggle to keep up with how stupid reality has gotten. And, like, It's like The Onion used to be ridiculous fiction, and now it's like a more toned down form of reality. I have no mouth and I must goon. That's not what I said. I said I have no mouth and I must cream, which is better because it rhymes with the original version. If you're gonna quote me, have some balls and quote the full. Use the full quote. Use the correct quote. Don't try and dumb it down for the Zoomers, or whatever. Oh Lord. But my family is sleeping, I said bark. This is fucking Sadie, dude. This is Sadie to such a T. So Sadie sleeps at night. Sadie sleeps in my room. She has access to 3 rooms at night. So she has my room, then there's a bathroom which connects this room, which is my office. So, because my office used to be my elder brother's room way back. So I've got like half the upstairs to myself. It's kind of like a miniature, well, actually, bigger than most apartments, to be honest, but it's like an apartment, right? And Sadie hangs out with me because she's my sweet girl and she has attachment issues. So Sadie stays with me, and she fucking, if she sees someone outside that window, there's a big, that wall is almost entirely windows. It's a bunch of big old giant windows. And she hasn't actually done it in a while, and I assume it's because she's been sleeping better, and I've also been getting up and like letting her out and stuff. But my neighbor loves to take her dog for a walk at like 8 a.m. or like 7:30 or 7 a.m. like on the dot. And if Sadie sees somebody walking their dog out that window, she goes ballistic. And just starts fucking barking like crazy. And it is the most annoying shit in the universe that early in the morning, especially because I'm not a morning person. I am a late night. I'm a night owl. I am not a morning person. Though I should knock on wood because she hasn't done it in a hot minute. Puppy! That's a full-grown dog, not a puppy. No, I mean, listen, dogs never stop being puppies. It doesn't matter how old they get. It doesn't matter if they're covered, like their face has gone totally white and they have super bad arthritis, so they don't move the same as they used to. They're always puppies. They're puppies forever. They're puppies for eternity. That will never change. That's just a fact. It's not even a meme. That's just fact. This guy is a dumbass. This dude down here who's trying to like actually this man's a fucking moron. The woman is correct. Was in charge of taking care of my roommate's dog, went away, so I decided. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, when you come back with a dog that's more dirt than animal. Sadie has a quirk. So if you do dog memes, I'm just warning you now, you're gonna get Sadie lore. That's, oh my god, dude, Alfred Nunez is so funny. So the guy that's coming on Sunday, Lorebeards, I asked him to send a picture that we could use for Lorebeards, and he sent the picture he sent. Is like he looks just done with like
11 cheers.
life.
X100. We want more Loremaster of Sotek.
You know, I don't know why. I was expecting him to send a picture where he'd be smiling or like looking like, I don't know what I was expecting. He looks like you walk up to a dwarf Lorebeard and be like, "Can I take your picture?" He looks that level of happy to see you. Just to say not. So y'all will see it when we put out the advertisement for Lorebeards for this Sunday, but he does not look happy in that picture at all. Oh my lord, that's very funny. But anyway, so Sadie has a quirk at the dog park, where she digs water. So she doesn't do it at home. She does not do it at home. But at the dog park, she will walk up to the water bowl that other dogs are trying to drink water out of, and she just sticks her disgusting dirt-covered paws in and is just like, fuck! Oh, like, just fucking get all this shit out of here. And she just digs it so water goes everywhere. And I think the reason she does it is because she wants to lay in the water. Because she digs all the water out and then she'll lay down in it. Which is often gross because there's usually a lot of dirt on the ground. So she lays in muddy water and gets mud all over her fur. So I have to like spray her down with the hose before we leave. And all that stuff, which I didn't take her to the park today because, like I said earlier, there's like a dust storm outside and it's very unpleasant outside right now. But anyway, I have been through this scene so many times. Like if you own a dog, you just, especially if it's a medium to large dog, you just have to accept that one day they're gonna get covered in mud and there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta grin and bear it. I appreciate the dog memes. I was not expecting dog memes, but I do very much appreciate it. When you help your dog find their toy, 2 minutes later they're like, "Help! I have put it right back where it was." Yeah. I every time I have to move furniture, I discover Sadie toys under them. Every time. I know it's in the middle of the night, but I need to know my good boy. Nothing like anxious attachment. Sadie's pretty good about not doing this. Like the only reason Sadie ever wakes me up is because the only time Sadie wakes me up and it's annoying is when Sadie wakes me up because she saw something in the backyard or she saw something outside. So either out the front window or my window in my bedroom, which oversees part of the backyard, because my backyard kind of like wraps around the sides of the house a bit. Sadie will often see things. And so I'll wake up and she'll just be standing, like she'll just be sitting there just staring at me. Like she'll either be sitting in front of the window on the side of the bed, or she'll be on my side of the bed looking at my face and just being like, "Are you awake? Are you awake?" And then she'll wait. And if I don't do anything, she'll be like, "Oh, oh," and it's like, "Oh, what? And then, you know, she escalates until I eventually give in and let her outside. It's very rare that I win the standoff. Where sometimes if she's really wants to go out, she'll jump up on the bed and she'll stand on top of me. Which she is 85 pounds. So that is not super pleasant. I love toy, but I also love human. I have an idea. Sadie does not do this, and I'm very glad she does not do this. I've been trying to teach her to put her toys up in the playpen. It has not been going great. A freshly mowed lawn. Oh my god. My allergies just looking at that are like, ugh. My old dog Chloe was like this. Chloe had white fur, so after mowing, she would go out and her paws would turn green for a little while. Sadie doesn't do this, luckily. Sadie doesn't really like hanging out in freshly mowed grass. Like if you're hanging out outside and you just mowed the grass, she has a bed. She has a dog bed on the patio, and she just likes to hang out on the patio. This is super true. You just give up at some point. Like I genuinely think you'll just give up. You just give up. Like, you know, you vacuum every once in a while, but like the people that are like, "Oh, I vacuum every day to deal with my dog fur." I'm like, you must be mentally ill, because I could never. Like, I will vacuum, best case scenario, I will vacuum once a week. Most of the time, it is significantly less than that. I hate vacuuming. Like I am the chores that I am super great with doing. I'm great about doing dishes. I'm great about taking out trash. I'm great about like making sure things are picked up. I'm great about cleaning the kitchen. I'm great about like cleaning the toilet and the bathtub. But like sweeping, mopping, dusting, and vacuuming, I hate. God, I hate. I hate doing them so much. I don't know why. I just do. But I still do them. Yeah, but like, oh man. It's a lot easier when you have hardwood floors. Carpet makes this a nightmare, which I have mostly carpet, and I hate it. My old house, when I lived by myself in Fort Worth, I had a house that was all wood flooring. I loved having all wood flooring because cleaning it was so much easier. I would much rather sweep than vacuum, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, yep. Classic Durthu meme. Everybody gangster to the damn trees start walking. Yeah. I mean, trees are so goddamn big, dude. Like, if trees could walk, they'd be fucking terrifying. Like, even if you live in an area that doesn't have giant trees, there are still trees that are so big. Like, could you imagine how fucking scary they would be if trees could fight back the shit we do? Though I still feel like we need to get wood elf treatment at some point that are redwood sized, right? Like, imagine if Durthu was the size or was inspired by a full-on redwood. Like, how much fucking bigger he would be, right? Good shit. So this artist, I love this artist. So Ryoyu, this is one of the big artists for the Koresh project. So we had him on the Lorebeards episode where we talked about the Koresh project, but he does official comics for Games Workshop. So he's like a licensed comic writer for them. And he does a lot of really fun ones. But this is very perfect. No one will ever believe you. The fucking what's that comedian's name? The meme about Bill Murray, where he like steals food from people and he's like, no one will ever believe you. But like this works so well in any Warhammer setting. Like, could you imagine like you meet a Chaos Warrior? Like you meet like fucking Sigvald or Valkia or something, and they just give you like a big hug and don't hurt you or anything, or give you a little candy, and they're like, people are gonna think you're fucking insane for the rest of your life. Like, you will, no one will ever trust that this happened to you, and if you tell anyone that this happened to you, they will burn you for being a heretic. Like, no one will ever know. No one. You just have to live suffering in silence that this happened to you. And if you tell anyone, you will be executed for being a heretic. Biofoot, I passed out due to insomnia at the start of the stream, but I like fish people mostly due to the Pulp Fiction and creepy Cthulhu vibes. That is so less funny than I was hoping. How dare you ruin my humor with a genuine answer, Biofoot? How dare you? That's fair, though. Also, I really want to try out the Fishman mod I've been hearing about. We're gonna have to do that next week. I remember this comic. I've seen this comic. The prophecy demands that you build a camp in this cave. According to the prophecy, you have to find a sacrifice, something chickeny. Now the prophecy says that you must roast it with garlic. Let me see this prophecy. And here's the part about giving me back rubs. I wish I could read. No Saurus would ever question. No Saurus would ever question. Saurus would just be like, all right, yeah, sure. If anything, you would see arguments among the skinks. But if you had a singular skink hanging out with a group of Saurus, and the skink was like, oh, it says we need to do this. It says we need to do this. It says we need to do this. The Saurus would never... They would just be like, okay. All right, you got it, boss. The only time I think a Saurus would ever challenge a skink would just be in like matters of warfare, but they would never be in matters of interpretation, which would be super interesting. Mountain Blade Bannerlord, the one with the Warhammer mod, is on sale right now for the spring sale. Oh, that's good to know. I'll have to pick that up. Oh, I love this one. Our raids get less successful. How can we survive? More raids. Cannibalism. What if we start farming? Then this is quite therapeutic, actually. Yeah, they moved to Averland. Just move to Averland. Fivehead. Just move to Averland. Problem solved. If only it was that easy. If only it was that easy. It's actually really interesting if you map out the distance in miles, how fucking far it is from Norska to like the nearest area with sustainable crops. The nearest area would actually be in parts of Kislev, parts of the Oblast, which even then is very harsh. Though I do love the idea that he keeps his Chaos helmet. He's like, the helmet makes me feel sexy and confident, so the helmet stays. The helmet stays on. No matter what. Even when me and my wife go to bed at night, the helmet stays on. But yeah, if only the end times could have been averted by more agricultural expansion. If only. Are these different kinds of plugs? Corn, Nurgle, Slash, and Zinch. Alright, that's reasonable. I feel like key cleaner? Holy shit, dude, that's fucked up. Hold on a second. Oh, Carl, that kills people. Nice. Yep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's suitable. I feel like the corn one, I feel like instead of it going into the wall like that, I think it'd be like extra funny if it was like someone jammed it so hard into the slot that the slots were just like shattered. Like you just saw the little, whatever this material's made out of, like that kind of plasticky material was just like all cracked and falling apart and stuff. Or like it's like slammed directly into a wire or something. But yes, yeah, good. War hamster instead of Warhammer. I mean, okay. If there was a Space Marine chapter that was made of rodents or gerbils, like not Skaven, obviously, but like adorable furry animals, I would be significantly more inclined to give a shit about Space Marines. I would care about this. This would interest me far more than actual Space Marines do. Especially if he retained the properties of a hamster. Like if he could stuff his cheeks with stuff and his cheeks got like super big. Like his bolter ammo he carries in his cheeks, so he like just spits out ammo and he's got like these big cheek pouches full of ammo. I would watch the fuck out of that. I would watch the fuck out of that. Every time you push this button, you launch a doom sphere. But you might hit your own until you might hit your own unit. Ah! Yeah, fucking ick it. A doom sphere should be a doom rocket. Unless they're trying to wait. Oh my god. Now I'm trying to remember. Is it a doom sphere? Is that what Icaclaw's invention was called? Oh my god, I can't remember what he called it. Was it a doom sphere? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But yes, he would do this. Absolutely. 100%. Are we the baddies? I don't think ever in a million years that fucking oh god, I just had his name in my head. Starts with an E. Oh god. Fuck. I just forgot what his name is. God damn it. It starts with an E. No, it's not Steerborn. It's the Destroyer Frog. No, this isn't Steersborn. It's... Wait, is this Steers... No, I don't think this is... Yeah, this is Ingra Deathsword. This is Ingra Deathsword. I'm pretty sure. Maybe? Yes, yeah, this is Ingra Deathsword. So, yeah, I don't think Ingra Deathsword, once in his entire existence, has ever thought he is the baddie. Like, Ingra Deathsword, his fucking name is Ingra Deathsword. Come on. you think a man with that name has the mental capacity or moral flexibility to be like, am I the bad guy? Like, clearly he's too busy enjoying himself. Thorgrim, get the book. This would never happen. This would never happen. And the reason this would never happen is that Belagar has been put into the Book of Grudges by Thorgrim at least once. I think he's actually been put in like twice or maybe 3 times. He almost got put in like, I think he got threatened to be put in twice. But Belagar has already been put into the Book of Grudges by Thorgrim on at least 1 occasion, and has probably been put on 2 occasions or more. So Belagar would never say this, because the only reason he would ever say this would hopefully be because he did something to get struck out. But he would never. For Belagar, seeing Thorgrim go for the book is not a good feeling. It's not a good time. That's a concerning time, not a good time. Oh, hello, Froggy PhD. Hello. Welcome thank you for the raid. Hello there. How are you doing? Thanks so much for the raid. It's good to see you. Hello. Thank you very much. Hi there. If you're new here, hello. I'm Loremaster of Sotek. I'm considered one of the premier authority figures on Warhammer Fantasy lore and literature. I also specialize very, very heavily in Warhammer Fantasy: The Old World, as well as Age of Sigmar. But we are doing a meme review day, which we have not done before in this community. But I'm trying to branch out and try new things. So we allowed people to submit memes, and they submitted a lot more than I thought they would, and it got crazy. What were y'all up to? Y'all were get frogged on Nerd? How absolute? Oh, okay, so Froggy PhD. So clearly we have a Slon. We have a glorious, not only a Slon with a doctorate visiting us today. Truly one of the most wise figures to be found in the world. Make sure y'all go check out Froggy PhD. Why wouldn't you? Like, come on, it's us. We have a Slon visiting us with an actual doctoral degree. You should be getting in there immediately. Thank you for the raid. If y'all could make sure to check them out, throw them follow and stuff, that'd be awesome. No, not Dr. Crimlow. Shush. What were y'all were painting? You're painting minis. What minis were you painting? You're doing a backdrop for Eldrad Ulthron. Oh, nice. Is it the new Eldrad model? That was a nice mini. That was a very nice mini. The heresy train has no brakes. Poor Thomas. Do you ever think if Thomas, like, do you ever wonder about Thomas's creator? Like, I don't know if he's still alive. I assume he's probably dead by now. But do you ever think that Thomas the train, like, has seen what people have done with his beloved children's creation, where they made like Choo Choo Charles, or they made him into like a horrifying dragon in Skyrim, or this, or they turned him into a chaos dwarf demon, iron demon. Wilbert Audrey is passed in the early 90s. Damn, that's a shame. It would be glorious to have his thoughts on what his creation has become. It would be wonderful. Also, Darius Rose, thank you for the super chat. What monsters could fuck up a warlord class titan? It would depend upon a couple factors, but the biggest things that you would probably see from the Warhammer Fantasy verse, the biggest things you'd see thrown at something like a warlord class titan would be things like a genuine equipped Dreadsaurian. A genuine Dreadsaurian would be a threat to something like a warlord titan, because the lore accurate Dreadsaurians are so much scarier than the ones in Total War. Like, the ones in Total War are nothing compared to the actual Dreadsaurians. They are terrifying. Thunder lizards would be a big threat. Any of the like big sea creatures, Some Dragon Ogre Shaggots would be capable of taking them on. Bone Grinder Giants would probably be a big threat to them. Hello, Wasted Space. Hello there. How are you doing? Painting an avatar of Cain on 2D. Oh, okay, so like a 2D backdrop for the actual Eldred model. That's kick-ass. That's super cool. Sky Titan? Yeah, Sky Titan could fight one. Yeah, the tricky thing would be the tricker thing would be finding things that could survive the approach to such a war machine. But I think certain Dragon Ogre Shaggots, an Emperor class dragons could very much fight a Warlord Titan because they can use magic. So like an Emperor class dragon, a large enough Dragon Ogre Shaggot, Thunder Lizards, Dread Saurians, Toad Dragons. There's a lot of like super scary shit. All, you know, Exalted Greater Demons, obviously. Yeah, there's some pretty spooky things out there that could threaten them. Greetings, degenerate. What is going on in this thread? By Slanesh. Nice. Yeah, I think Slanesh would love the internet. Slanesh would love everything about the internet. It is such a domain of excess. It's such a domain of extreme emotion and people giving in to addictions and satisfying addictions, and also like just mountains of porn, just absolute, just incredibly impressive amounts of degeneracy. Slash would love the internet. Slash would absolutely love the internet so much. Dr. Awesome, fun fact, I keep track of my Wolfrip story via memes. I also do that. I would show you, but I don't want to like accidentally dox anyone that's in my Sunday group. But my group, the way we like communicate during our Wolfrip campaigns, and we also make notes that remind us of what happened in a session, is we just constantly post memes throughout the session. So like all you have to do is go look at the meme thread and you can remember what happened. Hating elves, dwarf Skaven. I feel like there could be a lot more. I feel like this meme would be better represented by the one where it's like the Knights of the Round Table all laying their swords down. And hating elves being at the center, and it being literally everyone. Like even other elves. Like dark elves, high elves, and wood elves. You could put like literally every faction. Oi, you get! Don't you want some DACA? No, this is ridiculous. A proper orc would never willingly give away his DACA to a child. Never. Ridiculous. They wouldn't even offer the idea. No. Ridiculous me. Absolutely not. We's just warming up. Oh my god. How many more? Oh my Biofoot, dear lord. All right, let's hit the gas a little bit. Mortal races, Cetra's army. Yes, this is very accurate. The Tomb Kings don't care how many of them you kill. The Tomb Kings do not care how many of them you kill. Their magic can reknit their bodies and bring them back. It's whatever. It's fine. Cetra doesn't care. Plus, he has an entire civilization's worth of dead boys to work with. Clever girls. No! Lizardmen don't have sex. There's no... Despite what the internet will tell you, and trust me, I've seen it. I've seen a lot of it. Despite what it will tell you, the Lizardmen do not have sex. There are no clever girls in the Lizardmen. Well, actually, okay, you know what? No, that's not true. That's not true. You could argue that some of the cold ones and horned ones and stegodons and carnosaurs and pterodons and riprodactyls and salamanders and razordons, those can have clever girls. So I retract my statement. Never mind. I retract my statement. But yes, clever girls, marvelous. When you bite a human but he doesn't catch the plague, shame. Terrible shame, that. Technically, Skaven are furries. Yeah! Yeah, I mean, yeah, technically, Lizardmen are scalies. I mean, to be fair, the term furry is exceptionally broad. Like, it is very, very broad. I thought in Age of Sigmar the Lizardmen could reproduce. No. Lizardmen emerge from spawning pools, even in Age of Sigmar. In Age of Sigmar, there's like, we have a whole storyline about going into the updated Lizardmen range, about how there's a group of skinks that end up tinkering with the spawning pools to make even more ferocious new breeds of Lizardmen, which is like given as a bit of a about how the lizardmen change in appearance, a little bit, but no, they're not born biologically. That's going in the book. Yep. I love this meme. I fucking love this meme. This is such a perfect encapsulation of Nagash and Manfred's relationship. Of you're probably wondering why you're here. You're here because you done fucked up too many times. This is a perfect representation of their relationship, which is fantastic. Super good. Froggy PhD, I'm from an egg. How big was it? Was it a large egg? Was it a small egg? Oh, okay, nice. We got through that section. Hungry? Don't feel like facing the streets? Deliver Griff. Yeah, so this is an Age of Sigmar meme. Age of Sigmar actually has some really good memes because Age of Sigmar advancing the setting allows for them to have really bizarre, fantastical cities where you have all these weird, different factions living together or hanging out together, which can lead to some genuinely fantastic, memeable scenarios. I actually am... there are some elements of AOS that translate very well into haha funnies. Age of Trashmar? Nah, not here. I don't do that here. I love Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar is great. It has different strengths than Warhammer Fantasy did. You know, it's not the exact same thing as Warhammer Fantasy. But that's a good thing. Like, especially now that we have both with the Old World and Age of Sigmar at the same time. Now, granted, if it's not for you, that's totally fine. You don't have to like it by any means. But I don't think it's trash. I think first edition Age of Sigmar was trash. I'll fully agree on that. First edition AOS was terrible. But I think Age of Sigmar since then has become something genuinely super fucking awesome. Why does it smell weird? How strong are cold ones in lore? They're pretty strong. I mean, they're big Jurassic Park-esque velociraptors, though they tend to be a little thicker. They're nasty. You know, they're much stronger and tougher than a horse. Significantly stronger and tougher than a horse. They're pretty nasty. You know, granted, when you're dealing with a game like Total War, you have elements like balance, which mess with the lore accuracy of things. But yeah, they're pretty fucking scary. I'm gonna text my sister to see if she's making something because it smells very strange. One moment. I'm gonna make sure something didn't spill or whatever. Oh, that's what I smell. Yep. I have a pretty decent sense of smell, apparently. My sister made ramen, and in my opinion, microwaved ramen especially smells like fucking dog piss. I don't know why. It smells very, very similar to if like a dog pees in your house. Because over my life, I have smelled a lot of dog pee. Because I've raised a lot of puppies, and they smell the exact fucking same. Ramen smells fucking disgusting to me. A lot of the time. Anyway. Obliterating Skaven... yeah, this is... I wish this was more true in Total War, but yes, this is definitely very true, especially in tabletop. You can obliterate your own stuff. I mean, maybe she used a stove. I assume she used the microwave because it's easier. But like, God, it fucking stinks. I hate ramen. It stinks. Kimry TV. He's even worse than a vampire. He is... May Patra forgive me for uttering this word. An elf. I don't know who it was that originally created the Egypt TV memes with the Tomb Kings, but they are very funny. They are absolutely fantastic. They are very, very funny to me. That being said, I don't think this is something Cetra would realistically say, because being a vampire, being a spawn of Nagash, in Cetra's view, would be the worst. Like, that would be by far the worst possible fucking thing you could be. Oh, Tariff made it? Of course Tariff made it. I should have known that. Of course Tariff made it. I shall fulfill your deepest desire. There are all your armies. I would do this in a heartbeat. I would do this in an absolute fucking heartbeat. Like, if someone came to me and was like, here are the materials for summoning a creature that will fulfill one of your greatest desires, so long as it brings you a form of pleasure, I would be like, yo, I got all these, I got like thousands of dollars worth of gray plastic, much of which is not assembled. Could you like just do all of that for me so I don't have to do it myself and I don't have to pay someone to do it? Do you know how expensive it is to commission someone to paint minis? Shit's pricey, yo. Shit's pricey. That's way better than sex. That is so much better than sex. No fun commanding armies painted by another. I will agree to disagree. I will respectfully agree to disagree on that point. I love playing armies that look great, and I am not good at painting. So if I want an army that looks good, it needs to be painted by somebody else. Like, I paint my own Night Haunt, because I have some pride, but not very much. Peasant. Okay, first, you're being a total dick right now. Yeah, fun fact, actually. Warhammer Fantasy Skeletons are really nasty in the actual lore. They're very difficult to destroy. Same with zombies. Because if you don't aim for the head, whatever you do to them is pretty much pointless. Like, granted, it's not useless to, like, hit them with, like, arrows or swords or whatever, because you can break their bones or, like, you know, shatter parts of their bones and they'll lose a limb or whatever. But dark magic is so efficient at building them back together, and obviously they don't feel pain, right? They don't feel pain, so they just keep coming at you. That's why there's actually notes about this a lot in the lore of if you're fighting Warhammer Fantasy Skeletons, the biggest thing is to aim for the head and to use blunt objects. You want blunt trauma weapons, not stabby stab weapons, because they are obviously not great. When there's no organs, there's no soft innards to poke at. When the Artificer and Paladin team up to kill heretics, bro, I know this would violate the laws of the Lady of the Lake, but this would be one of my favorite Bretonnian things if this was ever a thing. Like, Bretonnian knights carrying, like, shoulder-mounted trebuchet that would make me so happy. It wouldn't make sense. It'd be stupid, but I would love every second of it. I would love it so much. Why the head? Because the way that dark magic works is that it essentially reanimates parts of what in Warhammer Fantasy we understand as the soul. But the soul in Warhammer Fantasy is not what you think of as the soul. The soul, or essence, of an individual is made up of several parts, and one of those parts is the ka, which is the body. So, like, your body, your physical flesh and blood, your bones, your muscles, your organs, all of those parts of you are part of your soul. They are an important component of your soul. And then you have things like your connection to the ether, your connection to the ether, or whether you call it the realms of chaos, or whether you call it the warp, or the realm of the gods, that's another part of your soul. Then there's things like your sense of self, your sense of consciousness is another part of your soul. Then there's things like your emotions, that's another part of your soul. Then there's things like your memories, that's another part of your soul. So there's all these different components that make you who you are. And if you want to know more about this, I actually have I have a video on my YouTube channel that if one of the mods would be willing to go grab and throw in the chat, that if you want to go watch a little later, it's got some really cool voice acting in it by a really nice, awesome voice actor friend of the channel. Then you can go check that out where I talk about all the information. I'm actually quite proud of that video. I think it's called like the essence of the soul or something like that. But anyway, so when you're dealing with the undead, a typical undead, especially mass resurrected ones, which tend to use what you could think of as like use a simplified resurrection process. What you're doing when you resurrect a corpse is that you are basically reanimating part of their soul using the body as like a foundational point, and manipulating what other parts of the soul you could drag back from the ether where parts of their soul go after they die, and putting it back in that body to tell it things like how to move around or how to fight. And the head is where all of that information is stored. So if you destroy the head on an undead body, you destroy the focal point of the soul. You destroy where the dark magic is able to basically control the body and puppet it around to do things. So you could kind of think of like, you know, like the meme of like balls, you know, peas stored in the balls or whatever. Well, your soul is stored in your head in Warhammer Fantasy. Now there are other important aspects that relate to like the rest of your organs in your body, but they are not necessary for the sake of puppeting a skeleton or a zombie. They would be necessary for something more complex, like the relationship to the Tomb Kings and how the Tomb Kings try and preserve the entirety of the soul. In which case all of your organs are very important if you're trying to preserve all of an individual when they die. So anyway, there you go. 40k memes. Nuclear energy, warp energy, using the webway to avoid using fuel, using your enslaved gods as fuel, using your imagination as fuel. To my understanding, this is not actually how they work. This is more of like a meme that's like grown out of size. But yes, haha, very funny. Biofoot says, fuck, I love this stream. Cool. I'm glad. So I mean, you know, I'm trying to put my own unique spin on meme reviews. Like if it's Warhammer Fantasy related, I'm gonna try and educate a little bit. Commuters express concern as Thomas the Tank Engine falls to the power of chaos. No, never. I don't know why you'd say that. He looks perfectly normal to me. He looks totally normal. He looks like he always does. My lord, the Greenskins have a new lord, so he's thicker than you. What? No, he's not. Grom is not nearly as thick as a Slann. Have y'all ever looked at how big a fucking Slann is? Like how actually massive Slann are? They wish. They wish. Now he might have a bigger gut. So the fact that you said thicker specifically, that might actually be true. Grom the Paunch may be thicker, but like nah. Plus Mazda Mundi and the Slann are thick where it matters, right? Which is up here. They're thick. They got those thick heads. They got those big old noggins. They got that head game. And everybody, from what I've heard, everyone loves good head game. And I'm pretty sure this is what they're talking about, is like having a big, respectably sized head. Like, why have a big belly when you can have the biggest head? because, you know, I've heard on the internet that like head game is the most important thing, and I'm completely certain this is what they mean by that. Absolutely. Elven prison is so dull. You need a hobby. Are you painting little statues you carved? Yes, I find it soothing. It really helps me forget about my worries. The eyes look strange. The eyes are hard. Yeah. Hey, don't critique someone else's painting like that. Jerk. Absolute jerk. Okay. Next. Okay, good. We're almost through the Biofoot. We're almost through the Biofoot spam. Silent the Emperor, thank you for the super chat. I need to dig up some good Final Fantasy 14 memes for the next stream like this. Also, while we usually talk about during the Final Fantasy streams, it'd be fun to do some lore crossover speculation as a streamer video for fun. Yeah, we can do that at some point. Especially the next time we do just a Yapid stream, which we're probably going to try and do those like once a week. Maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on how people feel about it. But like when we're doing what the VTubers refer to as Katsudan, but I'm just going to call Yappin'. When we do Yappin' streams, we can of course discuss that. I think that would be good for that. Sana, thank you for the follow-up super chat. Stuff like primals and Warhammer who'd worship them. What if for Final Fantasy 14, Warhammer Dragons Mad, and yada yada. Yep, that could definitely be good for those yapping. All right. You know, something I've learned in my time as a fan of the VTuber community, which pretty much dates back to when they showed up and spawned into existence a little bit before COVID. The amount of women that are into horror and look at this. They look at that Nurgle smile with his mouth and teeth full of maggots, and they're like, yeah, it fucks me up, dude. It fucks me up. Like Lena Lazar, have you seen the way she talks about Kugoth, Plague Father? That's a woman after my own heart. She appreciates this kind of smile, and I respect that. I respect that so hard. First she had to fight her inner demons. Now she's fighting the outer demons. Frozen 3. Okay, if this had just said Frozen 3, I would have been like, okay, that's a pretty low effort meme. But the fact that it actually it has a good tagline for what this movie could realistically be, that's fucking funny. I've seen Frozen 1 and 2. This would be a perfect tagline. This would be such a good tagline for fucking Elsa taking on goddamn demons trying to invade her nation. Where's that movie, Disney? What if Disney had balls? Yep. The Hammerhall Herald. Lonely? Useless? Don't be. Hagnar presents Heartseeker's Night, speed dating event. Give your heart to someone who really wants it. Take part in feasting, dancing, and casual murder. You know, this actually takes me back. So this is a fantastic meme. This is and to be fair, this is a Games Workshop meme. So like Games Workshop made this. This wasn't like some random person in the community. This is an official Age of Sigmar GW meme, which is great. But this actually takes me back to when I was very young. So I was probably about 11, 12, 13-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. I remember when I first got my hands on a copy of the 6th edition Dark Elves book. And now my memory is pretty vague of that book. And I'm pretty sure it was the 6th edition book. It might have been the 5th edition book, but I think it was the 6th edition book. And I will never forget that in one of those books, there is some like horny ass art of witch elves and like dark elf sorceresses. Super fucking horny. And there's this scene where there's a guy strapped down onto like an altar, like a stone altar, and there's a witch elf straddling him, and her knife is like held up in both hands, and she's about to stab him. And I swear that it's either in that book or an adjacent story. There's a story about a guy I'm thinking it's that guy who, like, he gets taken during Death Night or something, and is going to be sacrificed to Cain. But because 6th edition in particular was like really dark, and like particularly heavy in some themes, there's like a whole story about like his experience essentially. And to put it like very simply, basically this elf like absolutely like fucks the hell out of him, and then like as he climaxes she kills him, and like rips out his heart, like it's like as they reach the apex of the experience, she murders him, and that was very formative on my brain. that I think in real time I felt a new wrinkle being carved into my brain. Like, goth women? Pale white women? With concerning amounts of eye makeup and mental illness? Under the sea, the pressure here is immense. All the cool kids do drugs. All the cool kids, you say? This is what happened to Biofoot. This is Biofoot's story. This Biofoot fell in with the wrong crowd. He couldn't handle it. Need an elder god? Why not Zoidberg? Man, if we ever get Fishman in Warhammer Fantasy, I would be so delighted if they fit a Zoidberg reference in there. They should. They could. So, I mean, Zoidberg sounds very German. So I would love to have like a German or an Empire scientist or Empire biologist who has a quote about Fishman or something, and his name is like a slightly rewritten version of Zoidberg. My daughters, you get out of my inn! That's the 4th time our horn dog bard got us kicked out of a place. Welcome to my inn I staffed entirely with burly orcs and soulless golems. Burly orcs and soulless golems. Well, like, I don't know what you expected, dude. The man knows what he knows. He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants. Fucking Dom. No, Dom, that's suicide. The ruinous powers are too strong. I understand that you're worried, Emperor Calfrons, but them buys my family too. It's fucking going out like Bruno the Bounty Hunter, dude. I would love just a bizarre meme series of just completely unrelated, out of fucking left field characters coming into Warhammer Fantasy and fighting Archaon for the most perplexing, stupid reasons. I would love that very dearly. Like, they're all gonna die, but it'd be funny. When Slanesh turns you into a heart, but you're into that shit. Alright, this is calling out somebody in chat, and I would like you to reveal yourself, sir or madam. I know you're in here. I don't know who you are, but I know you're in here. Someone in here is Leo DiCaprio Nardying at being stepped on by a Slanesh demon while she plays their tendons and spine being turned into a horrifying heart. I know you fuckers are in here. You're not. I know you're here. Sorry, thank you for the super chat. Male monster fuckers, conventionally attractive humanoid women, female monster fuckers, pyramid heads, xenomorphs, actual full-size dragons. Yeah, women are a different breed, dude. I'll say it. Like, I've always been. Oh God, wrong bite. I've always been very blunt about excuse me. I am not an S tier monster fucker. I am an A class monster fucker. Like, I get a little weird. I get weirder than I think the average person. But I cannot compete with women. I cannot compete with women. Women are willing to bed things that I look at and I'm like, I don't I don't understand how this would work. And they're like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I admire them and I fear them. I mean, Pyramid Head's not that weird though. But I mean, to be fair though, I'll counter what I just said. You know what the difference is? You know what the biggest difference is, I think? Is that when I pull out my A-class monster fucker card, it's my brain saying, I'd fuck that. Like, I would experience coitus with that entity. When women pull out the S card, a lot of the time, when they pull out their platinum card, it's women saying, I want that thing to kill me. I want that thing to genuinely, like, snap my neck and, like, devour me or whatever. And I'm over there in the corner like, bitch, are you crazy? Like, and that's why they get the platinum card, right? That's why they get the platinum card, and I only have an A rank card. I don't get to be in the platinum club because I am far too vanilla. I'm only thinking of like actual sexy times. I would like to not die, and that's what prevents me from getting a platinum card, and I'm okay with that. I accept my failings. I accept my failings as a monster fucker, and that's okay. Which turns me into a frog. Now suffer. Just chilling. Wait, experience happiness for the first time? Wait, no! Man. You know, I saw a clip on Reddit the other day of a great eagle. Not a great eagle. That's a Warhammer thing. I did not see a great eagle. Those are not real. I saw a bald eagle. There we go. I saw a bald eagle that was hanging out in its nest, and it was like a blizzard. And the bald eagle was like using its wings to cover up its babies to keep them warm. And then like the storm ended and like moved the storm off and stuff. And it's like, you look and you go, man, life looks so peaceful. Like it's stressful in its own way. You know, you're fighting for survival, but like your threats are very physical. They're very comprehensible. Modern humanity is a fucking mess because so many of the threats are existential or societal, as opposed to being, at least where I live. And granted, it's a very privileged position. You know, I don't have to worry about some asshole hitting my house with a fucking bomb or something. Which a lot of places in the world do. You know, I have easy access to resources. And yet, it's hard being happy over here. It's hard. You feel like you're caught. You're just feeding the machine. You're just feeding the machine. And it's like, I gotta work so I can afford healthcare. Because otherwise, despite the fact I live in one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, if I get sick, I couldn't afford a doctor and I'll die. Because reasons that are stupid and I hate them. But I should stop before I get too political. Because, oh boy, I fucking hate what we're doing right now. I have to not look outside because I will get angry. It's Wednesday, my dudes. It is not. But thank you, Plague Toad. Very chill. Corn grants you strength. Slash grants perfection. Zinch grants wisdom. Grandpa Nurgle. Man farts so deadly he kills mosquitoes in a 6-meter radius. What is this man's diet? What is this man consuming? Because I feel like this should be understood and utilized for the greater... Fuck mosquitoes, dude. Shouts fuck off when someone knocks on the bathroom door. Zinch knocks back. Nurgle shits louder. Slanesh opens the door. You know, I don't know. I feel like excuse me. Felt like blowing my nose apparently. I feel like Zinj, Nurgle, and Slanesh are all, and even Court, I feel like all of these are actually very interchangeable. Now, the reasons they would be interchangeable would be different, but I feel like all of these could easily be interchangeable, but they would have different motivations. They would have different motivations. That's just my opinion. Memes are just inside jokes for people without friends. Well, that's not very nice. That's not. You're not wrong, but you didn't have to say that. You didn't. Never before have been so offended by something I 100% agree with. That's not nice. I don't appreciate that. Wife stabs husband with squirrel. I have several questions. Court does not care how the blood flows as long as it flows. Should be so long as it flows. But yes, yeah. Stabs with squirrel. How do you stab with a squirrel? Like, I feel like you would have to, like, wield the squirrel's fangs like a can opener. PP Falls. Nice. Nice. Cool. Very cool. Mazda Money. What are you doing in Lustria? Mind your own business. I love this artist. I've seen a lot of this guy's work. He's very nice to translate his comics into English. His art style is so pretty though. Like, his art is so gorgeous. I can't remember his account off the top of my head. But yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, this is the Lizardman. I mean, this is Mazdamundi kind of in a nutshell, to be honest. Like, every time Mazdamundi has to deal with humans or elves, or greenskins, or Skaven, or dwarfs, or ogres, or other kinds of elves, like, anytime he sees any of them in Lustria, he's like, why? Why are you here? Go home! You're not supposed to be here! This is not part of the great plan. You're supposed to respect the residential zones. You're not allowed in this community. Sure. I wouldn't mind being domed by a big huffy werewolf. Ooh. Hey, are you stupid? Things are fucking shit mongrels. Burp. Ugly naked manling trash on all but one night of the moon month. Clan Molder rat ogres on the other paw are perfect rat daddies all day, every day. Allow us to demonstrate. Okay, here's the thing. You know when you look at somebody's art, and you can just tell, right? Like, there's a very distinct way that an artist draws people and or furries in this case, where you look at their art style and you go, this person draws porn. Like, you look and you go, I instantly know this person draws porn. It's not even like, not even remotely, like, in question. I know for a fact. Just based on, I don't even need to see the whole comic. I just need this image. The second you see this rat femboy, you're like, this person draws porn. I don't know where, but I could just tell just looking at it immediately. Though I do like this depiction of Throt. Throt the Unclean would absolutely do this. Throt the Unclean would do this in a heartbeat. Like, he's so fucking insane and has so much silly shit to prove. Like, he would absolutely be the kind of individual that if he's like, Throt would be the ultimate test of if someone is a monster fucker, to be honest. Because Throt would hear you talking shit and he would expect you to back it up. And he'd be like, you know, I know just the perfect failed experiment that I created in Hell Pit that's down on the 7th ring of Hell Pit. So I'm gonna go down and get my experiment from the 7th ring. You're gonna stay here, and I'm gonna see if you're as freaky as you say you are. And if you're as freaky as you say you are, then congratulations, you win a prize. Otherwise, you're gonna die. Well, you're probably gonna die either way. Because not only have I created like a perfect monstrosity that has like 8 heads and way too many dicks, but like it's also warpstone infused, so it physically cannot run out of stamina. Like even like it will go until it dies, and then it'll get jolted by that warpstone lightning, and it'll come back to life and just keep going. Don't worry, I've got you covered. And everyone's like, Throt, please, Throt, please, no. Like, he would be the president. He'd be the gatekeeper. That's what he is. He's the gatekeeper. Throt would be the gatekeeper of Monsterfucker Society. I summoned them. I summoned them all. Not just the Elector Counts. The Grand Theogenist and Supreme Patriarch too. Okay, this meme is technically wrong. This meme is inaccurate. Because the Grand Theogenist is already an Elector Count. He has an electoral vote. So he counts as an Elector Count. In a sense. Well, okay, maybe you could argue no. But I think it's funnier to say the meme is wrong. So you could argue that's not true. But I will say it is. Because it makes the meme funnier. Because it's inaccurate. The Supreme Patriarch, though, does not have an electoral vote. So calling the Supreme Patriarch would be unusual. But if you were calling the actual Electoral Council, you would have to call the Grand Theogenist, both of the Arc Lectors of the Sigmarite Faith, and you'd also have to call R. Ulrich. There you go. I'm going to just keep ruining your memes. 7 conversational tricks to make people think you are cool, and Karl Franz, Prince of Altdorf and Emperor of the Reichland. I wish people would use Karl Franz's full name to make him sound even more ridiculous. Because he's Karl Franz of House Holschwig-Schlichting, which is such a fucking mouthful. And it's fantastic. Throw the artist in the trash? No, they're fine. You know, they're not hurting anybody. Listen. If somebody wants to fuck Skaven, all the power to them. All the power to them in the world. Listen. I can say with confidence, more confidence than I care to admit, that the most populated, horny communities, the most populous gooners of the Warhammer Fantasy community is not the elf fans, it's not the human fans, it's not the chaos fans, it's certainly not the dwarf fans. It's the Skaven fans, and it's the Lizardmen fans. The Skaven and the Lizardmen, dude, they are horn dogs. And like, you know what? All the power to them. Like, I don't know why they turned all my skinks into femboys and all of my Saurus into like double-dicked like beefcakes, but if it makes them happy, sure. Why not? Shouldn't it be Slaanesh fans? You'd think so, but no, it's not. No, it's not. No. No, it's the Skaven and the Lizardmen by a billion miles. By a billion miles. Not even close. Instead of saying this, say this other thing. Instead of saying, stop it, dude, say, this action does not have my consent. Instead of saying, I gotta go, say, the nation calls. Instead of saying, let's hang out later, say, summon the Elector Counts. Instead of saying, chill out, say, be at peace, for that is all I ever want. Instead of saying, let's get this bread, say, as I hold Gal Moraz, I am ready. Instead of saying, don't test me, say, beware, my mood is dark. Instead of saying, holy shit, say, by Sigmar. Yes, I agree with all of these. These are fantastic. Get these into your lexicon. You'll always feel better. I do wish they allowed more of the lore ways people say the by Sigmar stuff. Because in a lot of the lore, they'll usually add an extra bit. Like, it'll be like, by Sigmar's hairy arse, or like, by Sigmar's balls, or by Sigmar's teeth. Like, they always add in these funny little things. But the amount of people that, like, essentially say by, like, God's ass or by God's balls in the setting is genuinely very funny. Omis fought each other for stupid political reasons. The boys fought each other because we look at fighting. We's not the same, get. Is that a Warcraft orc? I feel like this is a Warcraft orc, not a not a like a 40k or fantasy orc. I could be wrong, but I feel like the facial structure is more Warcraft. He warhammered across the room 40,000thly. Ah, yes, the 40,000 hammers of legend. Everyone knows the Emperor only became Emperor because he found the 40,000 hammers scattered across the universe. That's how he actually became Emperor. All right, everyone give a polite round of applause to Biofoot. We've made it out of the Biofoot the Biofoot desert. It was quite extensive. It stretched on for a ways, but it was by no means bad. I would say it was quite entertaining. And I had a good job with it. Good time with it. Excellent work, Sir Biofoot. Or boo him. If you hated him, you may also boo him. No, that is also acceptable. Next, we have a cheese factory exploded in France. Debris is everywhere. Get out. Who was this? Who is this man? God damn it, streamer mode. Streamer mode is preventing me from seeing your name. Whoever this is, into the snake pit. Throw this man into the snake pit. Boo this man. Boo this man. Thank you for the thing. Oh, we have some GIFs here.
What in the goddamn?
Excellent. Thank you. Fantastic. No notes. That should be.
What in the goddamn?
Do you think firing a plunger as a weapon, would you consider that to be dwarf technology, Skaven technology, or human technology, or greenskin? I feel like I would lean more towards human. Like, I feel like I could see a human engineer wielding a plunger as a deadly weapon. Halfling? Fair. Halfling is very reasonable. The snake pit was denied for Tech 27? God fucking damn it. So quite a few fair Oldens, Thal's balls. Yes, just like we have Thal's balls in Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, they get along well. Very cool. I don't know what that is. I feel like that's a reference to something. I don't know what it is. That went over my head. I'm sorry.
Are you username LadiesMan217?
I don't know what you're talking
Are
about.
you username LadiesMan217?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Fucking. That's not Megatron. I don't remember which Transformer or Decepticon that is. But excellent. I would love a universe. I would love a universe where there were like godlike powerful machines, but they played fucking they played Marvel Rivals. And if you played really badly, or if you played too well, actually it'd be funnier if it was because you played badly. So like they were on your team and you threw the game because you sucked, and then they tracked you down and like killed you. That would be fucking funny. I would love that universe. That would be a great setting. Even though they would probably come for me. Stormcast GF. Oh man. This is... Oh boy. You met while defending a realm gate from chaos. Cool. She was born from the world that was. Oh wow. Okay, so this would be an old Stormcast. She'd actually be super likely to be... I mean, she could be a Hammer of Sigmar. But it's far more likely that she would be in the oh my god, I can't remember their name. The death themed one. Fuck, I can't remember what the storm host is called. The ones with the black armor. They are heavily made up of people that died from the world that was. She's brave and the greatest fighter you've ever seen. It was beautiful, my little lightning bolt. I wish you could have seen it. Sigmar beloved by all, brought her back. She dies. The Anvils of the Heldenhammer. Thank you. It's like, I know it's Anvil something. Yeah, Anvils of the Heldenhammer, which is my favorite storm host. Anvils of the Heldenhammer are goated. Anvils of the Heldenhammer are so fucking cool. I adore them. They're fantastic. She died. You asked her about if she still remembers the world that was. She doesn't. She's a bit weird now. Struggles to remember your name sometimes. She died. You remembered and laughed on how she had a habit to pick you up and hold you. You asked her if she still remembers. She doesn't. She died. She died. Yeah. This is... this is a bummer. This is so sad. So this is why I genuinely love Stormcast. Stormcasts are a really, really, genuinely, not fucking, I'm being very serious. Stormcast are an excellent job, or they're an excellent way of portraying immortality. In that they have a deeply flawed, fucked up version of immortality. Where Stormcasts they're immortal, traditionally speaking. They cannot be permanently killed through the vast majority of ways. However, every time they die, the reforging process for them to go from being a piece of essentially like celestial soul stuff to having a physical form again comes at a price. And they lose a little bit of themselves each time because the reforging process is flawed in that it's not a closed system. Every time a Stormcast dies, they come back a little less. They lose a piece of themselves because think of it as like a closed system of water, right? So you have like water running through a loop. But in this loop that your water is going through, there's a crack. There's just a little crack. And so as the water is looping through this system, it leaks. So every time the water is pressured to go past this part of the pipe, a little bit of it leaks out. Every time. So every time they die, there's less and less and less of that water in the system. And that's what it is to be a Stormcast. Where Nagash still is, is the god of death and the usurper of the realm of Shyish, pulls a little bit more of them each time into his grasp, into death. And so when they resurrect, they lose parts of themselves. They lose memories. They might lose emotions. They might lose, like, physical memories as well. And when I say physical memory, like, you hear about, like, people with dementia, where if they hear music or if they're put into a certain situation, because their brain has, like, a physical pathway, written in it, it can, like, trigger a memory, essentially. It can trigger a response. Stormcast can lose that. Where something that they used to do just innately can be lost because of dying, which is super fucking tragic. Like, it is absolutely fucking heartbreaking when a Stormcast dies and they come back and they've lost something like that. There's a really good short story. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's one of my favorite. It's like top 5 Stormcast short stories about 2 Stormcasts that are in love with each other. And there is a Stormcast, the guy of the relationship, so it's a guy and a girl. The guy is like obsessively pursuing this Tzeentchian sorcerer. And he keeps chasing after this sorcerer to try and kill him. And he dies so many times going after this sorcerer in his obsession that he loses all the parts of him that like recognizes her. So it gets to the point where she meets with him again after like a couple of campaigns, and he's basically just an automaton. Like he has no emotions. He doesn't, like, he remembers who she is, but he's just a robot basically. And that story ends super tragically too, because the story literally ends with him going after the Tzeentch Sorcerer one last time, and the Tzeentch Sorcerer captures him. So like he kills him, but when he turns into lightning, the Tzeentch Sorcerer has this artifact that captures his soul, so he can't go back to the Azir and be reforged. And he basically is eternally imprisoned with a Tzeentch jailer, which is fucked. It's not a good way to go. Can a Stormcast be impossible to bring back? Yes, it is. It is possible for Stormcast to die permanently. If their lightning does not make it back to Azir, then they can't be reforged, so they're functionally dead. And there are other ways for them to permadie. Like, there's been cases where like the lightning of Stormcast Eternal going back to Azir was like captured by ogres. Like they grab it and eat it, and they're able to literally digest the soul stuff of Stormcast, which is not a good way to go. Literally having your consciousness and your soul digested, so you don't have like, at least, you know, if an ogre eats a normal person, you're usually gonna die in the being eaten process. But if you're just soul stuff, you're genuinely conscious the entire time, and it's like a horribly agonizing way to die. And it just kills them. They're dead. They can be captured. They can be imprisoned. And it's also possible that they could go back to Azir, but the reforging fails. So if they've been reforged too many times, or whatever killed them was like so horrific or so damaging that it breaks them on like a deeply fundamental level, then in the process of reforging, they reject the reforging. And basically their spirit, due to some trauma or the amount of damage it's taken or something, it goes berserk. And it breaks free of the Anvil of Apotheosis, and it starts like rampaging around Sigmar's fortress castle thing. And they're known as Lightning Geist. And Lightning Geist are super fucking scary. They're basically like full-on demons on cocaine. Like, they are super fucked up, and they're really berserk, nightmarish things that try to kill anything they can. And the way Sigmar handles them is that they capture these lightning geists and they seal them inside statues. So there's basically certain statues in the Sigmarabulum, I think it's called, where these lightning geists are imprisoned so that they can't get out and hurt people. Or there's different kinds of prisons. In the older lore, they were encased within statues. But I think in the newer lore, they have like actual like cells for them. But the horrible thing about lightning geists is they cannot be turned off, essentially. Like, they don't sleep. So they are eternally conscious and like wailing and screaming and trying to get out, trying to escape, and they can't. So Sigmar has been trying to find a way to like heal them or like put them back together so that they're like a person and not these horrifying nightmare eternal shrieking entities. But to my knowledge, they have not succeeded in salvaging a lightning geist yet. Are there any Stormcasts from the old world? Yes! Balthus Aurum. So Balthus Aurum is a member of the Hammers of Sigmar, which is like the OG Stormcast Eternal chamber, and is what this color scheme is. So this lady that right here is part of the Hammers of Sigmar. And Balthus Aurum is Balthazar Gelt. So he is literally just Balthazar Gelt, but he got reforged into a Stormcast, and he's a pretty powerful one. He's a pretty strong wizard. Darius Rose, thank you for the super chat. what do you think the stupidest thing a regular human in fantasy says they can fight? Oh, what's the dumbest thing a person in fantasy says they can fight? The dumbest people in fantasy would probably tell you to your face that they could fight an orc. That would probably be the most reliable one. Like the one you'd hear a lot about would be people being like, oh, I could totally take an orc. I could fight an orc. And saying that you could fight an orc is like a human in our world saying, I could absolutely fight a gorilla that's wielding a sword and knows how to use it. Like, that's how stupid that person is. But yeah. Hold on, I need to text my sister. All right. Steal from the Blood Ravens. Strategic transfer of equipment to alternate locations. Yep, I love the Blood Ravens. The fact that the community looked at the Blood Ravens, like, because like the Dawn of War games, to my understanding, are not canonical. Like, they're not things that actually happened in the setting, because they do a lot of unique choices that don't necessarily make sense with the wider lore. But I love the idea that everyone looked at the Blood Ravens getting access to a bunch of stuff they're apparently not supposed to have, and instead of being like, oh, it's just a video game, people are like, oh no, they just steal everything. They just steal shit. Like, they're just the kleptomaniacs of the Space Marines. Well, yeah. So like, I know the Blood Ravens are canon. Sorry, but I believe like are the games canon? I don't think the game's plot is canon, right? No, these are Blood Ravens, not Blood Angels. He's got the Raven symbol. These, if they're the guys that steal shit, if they're the Space Marine equivalent of they'll steal the tires off your car, then they're Blood Ravens, not Blood Angels. Blood Angels have a different set of memes. Bro, Andy Law being Morsalib is the best. Andy Law is Morsalib. I am a full believer of that. Like, anytime you read Warhammer Fantasy lore and they make a mention of the moon having a face, of Morsalib having a face, in my headcanon, it's no longer the skull shape, it's just Andy's face. Like, anytime Morsalib has a face, it's just Andy Law. So if you're ever playing through The Enemy Within, which has a bunch of scenes with Morsalib, make sure you use this for your players. Don't show them the skull image, just show Andy Law. Fantastic. Well, that's a badass piece of art right there. When the handgunner's powder is wet, so you hit them with the Chaos Moon Stare. Is this fan art of Moonclaw? This is gorgeous art. I don't recognize this. I don't think this is official. But look at that. Like his he's got like antlers with warpstone shards in it. I'm assuming this is fan art of Moonclaw. If so, I would love to see the piece this is taken from or cut out from. Because this is gorgeous. This is really pretty art. But yes, Moonclaw is great. I love Moonclaw. The fact that Moonclaw is so fucked up that just being anywhere near him, or just like looking at anyone, drives them. Like, he's literally the concept of mental mutation, of your mind shattering under the weight of trying to comprehend chaos made manifest, which is fantastic. Fan art of Sotek? Bro, I wish my back muscles looked like that. Are you fucking kidding? Like, do you see how ripped his back is? Hopefully I'm not blocking it. Look at that. If I looked like this, I would, like, I'd be so fucking pleased with myself. Like, dude's jacked. I would take this. I'd be this in a heartbeat. I wish I looked like that. I'm definitely much more on the ogre side of the scale. It's in DMs. Oh my god, that is super gorgeous. Holy shit, I don't think I've ever seen this. This is beautiful. Holy moly. Yeah, this is perfect art of Moonclaw. This is perfect. God damn, he looks really good. And he's got Umbra Lock with him too, with the two heads. Excellent. Excellent. if nobody got me, I know Morslip got me. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Garanath, me ignoring alchemy in every Skyrim playthrough.
Hey, would you like to sample our new set?
No, fuck off. Can't be sidetracked with cheap sex potions.
Dude, fucking, What We Do in the Shadows. I haven't actually watched the show, but I've seen so many fucking clips from the show, I might as well have watched it. It is so goddamn funny. And dude, no, I'm a hardcore alchemy person. I love alchemy. Alchemy stuff is like, I fucking love that shit. I love crafting. I love alchemy type things. Excellent. Fantastic. By Sigma, we're doomed! Retreat. We're doomed. Will you wait for me in Azia? Brother, I will race you there. Yep. That is definitely a very notable change in perspective from, you know, the mere mortals of both fantasy and Age of Sigmar and the Chad Stormcast. I'm gonna be honest, I love Stormcast. I really do. I think Stormcasts are super duper fantastic. I love their writing. First edition Stormcasts were not my favorite because first edition Stormcasts they just weren't that interesting at first. They had some slight issues. But like once we got to second edition, especially Beyond, they have become really good. But granted, I think a lot of that is because Games Workshop stopped over promoting them. You know, in first edition, there was a lot of trying to make the Stormcast just like fantasy Space Marines, and they weren't. I mean, to be completely honest, if you go like actually read the lore, they were never truly just Sigmarines. They looked like Sigmarines, but they weren't. But once we got into later editions, everything about them got cleaned up, and they are awesome. And plus, Games Workshop doesn't over promote them. Like for the thing I love about Stormcast, to be honest, is that they're not overused anymore. They, you know, they're always like the start of an edition, but other than that, they don't get anything. Like they get one army book per edition, and they get like one range update, and then they immediately move on to everybody else. The same cannot be said of 40k, which is why I do not like Space Marines. Space Marines are the immensely fat blob that shows up to everybody's birthday party and throws a fit that everybody else gets to blow out candles on the cake. They didn't get candles on their cake, and they should get to have their own cake, even though it's not their fucking party. So you have to make like an extra cake with candles and sing for the Space Marine asshole at everybody else's party because he throws the biggest baby fit if he doesn't also get everything. Like he has to get presents at other people's parties. What happened with Bretonnia and Age of Sigmar? They're just not there. That's it. There are no references to Bretonnia. There's nothing to do with Bretonnia. They're just not there. They're now a lot of the Bretonian aesthetic was used kind of tongue-in-cheek, especially in like first edition and second edition. There was a lot of tongue-in-cheek references to Bretonian aesthetic with the Flesh Eater courts, which was that the ghouls, the Flesh Eater courts, which is the ghoul faction, they are infected with a form of madness where they don't realize what they are. They see themselves as something that appears very similar to Bretonia, but that has lessened with time. So, like, if you go read modern ghoul lore, if you go read the Flesh Eater Court lore that we have now, it's not nearly as Bretonia coded. They kind of left that behind. I think in first and second edition, it would be accurate to say that the Flesh Eater Courts were very literally mocking Bretonia, which wasn't great. It was one of my big criticisms of Age of Sigmar. That it felt like the writers were just kind of like shitting on Bretonia fans because not only did they not have a playable faction, but they also were like being essentially made fun of and dunked on by a faction that was like the complete opposite of them. Because like they didn't even have cavalry, right? It wasn't even like it wasn't even like they were it wasn't even like they were like, oh, it's like Bretonia, but like cursed. No, it was a horde faction with monsters, which is like the absolute opposite of what Bretonia was. So I was never a fan of that. But in modern lore, they washed all that out. Now the Flesh Eater Court delusions are unique depending on which group of Flesh Eater Courts it is. They have different types of delusions and different focuses. That are inspired by the cultures they were that fell into madness, which allows for a lot more variety and a lot more interesting storytelling, which is cool. This post was fact-checked by real dynastic patriots. Okay, I wanted to ask this. How do y'all feel about the Necrons? Of that, like, one thing I've always found interesting is I feel like the Necrons nowadays are much improved, even though they're basically just Necron Tomb Kings. Because to my understanding, they used to be just like the Terminators. Like, they used to be much more like soulless machine Terminator aesthetic. And then they basically got turned into Tomb Kings, where they got like a lot more personality. And a lot more drama between like the various groups. And I've always found like the argument about that to be interesting. Because I remember when they changed. I remember there was like a whole bunch of hubbub about when the Necrons went through a significant change. Like, it was a big fucking deal. I love Tomb Kings. I also love Space Tomb Kings. Yeah, that's fair. Old Necrons were too faceless for my liking. That's fair. Necrons are boring in your opinion, except the one. I mean, I mean, obviously everybody loves fucking, what's his face? The guy that steals shit and puts it in a museum, all the time. But, like, the Stormlord seems pretty cool. Like, the guy that rivals the Silent King. The Silent King himself seems pretty cool if they would just do something with him. Toka Gaming says, Dark Crusade Necrons. Oh, that's a good way to put it, because Dark Crusade, yeah, Tracing the Infinite, yeah. Dark Crusade Necrons are soulless Terminator race destroying all life. I found it interesting in comparison to other races because they felt more like an anomaly. Now they are just quirky Space Egypt race, but there's actually something to build on. There isn't much they could have done with just soulless death march machines. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, because, like, yeah, when you play Dark Crusade, the Necrons feel so good in that, but like personality-wise, they're kind of, like their aesthetic is awesome, but like they don't talk. You know, the only one that talks is the Pariah, which is literally a human that got converted into a Necron. Other than that, they're like, it definitely seems like they've got a little more going on. Oh shoot, I just realized, hold on. I just realized I never paid my sister for dinner, and she paid for dinner the other night. Uh-oh. Let me take care of that. Where is the receipt? Should be in my email. Is it my spam? Spam folder. No. Oh, also someone tried to scam me. That was fun. But I've already been scammed by that scam before, which is how my YouTube channel got taken over for a little bit, so I didn't fall for it. But I was a little sad. I got an email and they were like, "Hey, this is Skillshare and we want to sponsor a video." And I was like, "Oh my god, Skillshare, like that's a sponsorship I would actually take because they are not like a super fucking weird thing. Like, yeah, sure, it's a meme that everybody uses it, but like I could use the money." And then I checked their email account and they didn't have anything to do with Skillshare in their email account. Like the email address didn't have Skillshare as like the back half of it. And they also sent a link, which, by the way, if you're ever wondering how you can detect a YouTube scam, the way they allow me to elucidate and illuminate the situation there. If you ever get sent a link, if you're a YouTuber, often what'll happen is they'll send you like an email or a message on Twitter or whatever, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you click on this link?" And it'll take you to like, what's that website called? It'll take you to DocuSign.com, which is a really normal website. Like, DocuSign is super normal. Like whenever I get like a job thing, whenever you get like an actual sponsorship like that, DocuSign is normal. But they'll send you a link. And what you do is, if you can right click on the link and copy it and then paste it into like the web address, but don't hit enter. You just paste it so you can see it. Like copy link address and then post it somewhere, and you'll see like where it actually goes. And if the link is ever at all different from the link that they claim it is, then you know it's a scam. Because that's what people fall for, is they'll see a link or an attachment or something, and they'll think it's a like something they can sign or a contract or something, and they click it or open it, and that basically will open something that lets them into your computer, and then they take over your accounts, and it fucking sucks. So if you're ever in the YouTube sphere for some reason, always be super duper careful, because scammers fucking love stealing people's YouTube accounts, even though it almost never works. Like, I do not know of a single instance where a scammer has stolen someone's YouTube channel and gotten anything out of it. Like, one of two things will happen. Either the person that's channel was stolen will be small enough that they're able to like flag the channel down and get it banned and like taken off the internet, or the person is big enough that they can bitch at YouTube on Twitter like I did, and Twitter or they'll bitch at YouTube on Twitter, yeah, like I did, and YouTube will come along and just fix it and be like, "Oh, here's your shit back." It's like, it's just annoying, but they don't get any money out of it, so I never understood why the fuck they do it. It's so bizarre. It's like they're just being assholes for the sake of being assholes.
And it's with a tear in my eye and a tear from my little guy that I'm proud to announce the first international edging competition. No one came.
Ha 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 ha. Very nice. I cast non-magic missile. It should be a chaos dwarf, but yes. Excellent. Fantastic. No notes. My wife paid £50 for this bed for our indoor rabbit, and this is what it sleeps in every night. The dust, but it's a dust bunny. The rabbit has a good sense of humor. The rabbit has an excellent sense of humor. Fantastic. Wonderful. What do we got here?
Guys, we have
Oh, wait. Doesn't he hit a foul? Okay, hold on. This meme sucks. You know why this meme sucks? The continuity is terrible. Look, he very obviously, even though the good lord, I could count the pixels on here. He obviously is hitting a 1,000 Sun Space Marine, but then it's an Ultramarine that's in the rest of the meme. Ruined it. Ruins the meme. Where's the continuity? Where's the accuracy? Lazy. Back in my day, people actually tried with their memes. Witnessing horrors beyond my comprehension is I don't get it. Fair. I feel like, I mean, isn't that what they say in 40K? Is that like the ignorant mind is like ignorance is like the ignorant mind is the blessed mind or some shit like that? Because if you're too stupid to get it, then you're not as much at risk. In fantasy, I will say I'm genuinely glad that something that didn't carry over well to fantasy. Because like it's an interesting aspect of 40K, but it's one of the parts that I find like about is the like the whole like not knowing anything is the only way to like ignorance is like a enforced system. Blessed be the mind too small for doubt. There it is. Yeah. Very, very famous quote. I'm glad that concept did not carry over to fantasy as much. Because I think its mileage is not actually that great. It's a hard quote, but I don't think it actually makes a lot of sense. Because if you're too ignorant about chaos, then you won't recognize chaos when it shows up. Like, if you don't know about the enemy, then you won't know how to deal with it. And you won't recognize it. Which makes it completely self-defeating. So, like, I'm glad Warhammer Fantasy has a bit more of a realistic perspective towards chaos. And granted, in 40K, it's kind of intentional. Like, it's part of the grim darkness of the universe that the Imperium is so self-defeating to the point where it's, like, fucking ridiculous. Hope we don't run out of time for Final Fantasy. No, we got plenty of time. Like, Skaven does not exist? Well, Skaven does not exist is different. Of that, there are Beastmen, right? Beastmen are a concept. Beastmen are a thing. Where Skaven are blamed on Beastmen. Of taking a threat and putting it in a recognizable fashion. So people are able to comprehend it. But the reason they don't tell people about Skaven isn't because the Skaven are like an unfathomable horror. It's because if the Skaven realize that everybody knows they're there, the Skaven will stop hiding. And if the Skaven stop hiding, that's bad. That is real bad. You know, it's in a lot of the people of Warhammer World's opinion, it's better for people not to know about the Skaven because it allows the Skaven to defeat themselves and try to stay hidden. As opposed to chaos, which is more like a force in the world. Like a force of nature. It's a piece of reality that can manifest anywhere. I feel like it's different. Even though I understand that it could be like, oh, well, these are similar. I feel like they're very different. Alcoholic beverage? Not even once. Okay, now what? Oh, lime in the coconut? Yep, okay. That one took me a second. I don't even remember what that's from. I know it. I don't know what it's from, but I know it. Capitalist when I fuck their mother without a profit incentive. No, this doesn't make any sense. Capitalists. Oh, capitalism. Late stage capitalism is so fun. It's so fun. Avast ye, I cast nuke. I will say the bomb witch, the nuke witch, whatever the fuck she's called, very cool design. Very cool design. I don't understand how these ladies have not, like, already ended the setting of Trench Crusade. Because I feel like if you're able to spawn and throw a nuke at someone, there's only so much time before the world just stops. Before the world just ends. But I feel like an actual nuke witch, artillery witch, thank you. And maybe they're not throwing actual nukes. Maybe that's what it is they're not throwing nukes and that's just a meme. I don't know what it is they're actually throwing. Because I feel like if it's an actual radioactive, this area is no longer capable of sustaining any form of life without causing extreme cancer and death level tech that she's throwing around casually. I feel like the Trench Crusade universe should be over already. By the way, what do y'all think about Trench Crusade? Like, what are y'all's thoughts? Do they not have to be in the blast radius? Listen. If that bitch can literally conjure a fucking nuke out of nothing, or whatever the fuck it is she does, and she throws it at you, presumably it does not bother her. I imagine she's totally fine. The power of Jesus Christ is stronger than radiation. Oh, right. I didn't think about that part. My bad. I didn't think about that part. Oh, they're just normal artillery shells. Oh, okay. That's not as crazy then. I mean, it's still scary, but it's not as, like, insane. Like, that's like, oh, that's spooky on the battlefield, but it's not like, okay, this battlefield is an irradiated hellscape that no one can enter now. Waiting on my Chad Sultanate models. I am very interested in when the Sultanate comes out. Because I feel like, if you'll actually bear with me for a moment, I feel like the Sultanate being released for Trench Crusade is going to be a massive fucking deal. Because it's going to be, I think, like, in my opinion, it's going to be one of the first big games in kind of that fantasy sci-fi-esque popular strategy sphere that has like a really dark imagery, taking on, you know, that Middle Eastern Muslim inspired aesthetic, which for so many years now has felt like a no-go zone. You know, it's felt like, oh, well, you can't do that, you can't depict that, you can't touch that. So I am actually quite excited for the Sultanate. Because I think that's gonna open up a lot of, I think that's gonna open up a lot of other universes to feel safer and more comfortable depicting soldiers, armies, creatures, mythologies, and stuff from that part of the world. Because I've always felt that it's such a goddamn shame that there's all this beautiful history and storytelling and just all this stuff that comes from that part of the world, and so many creatives are just too scared to touch it because they're worried about, like, oh, if we depict anything from this part of the world, like, oh, people are gonna hate us, which I don't think is true. Like, you know, it's like, I think Games Workshop could absolutely do Araby nowadays, and it would be extremely well received as long as they didn't do something super stupid. But I think as long as they stuck with the lore they already have and just like cleaned it up and expanded on it a bit, I think Araby would be extremely positive, like incredibly positive reception. I think that the Sultanate, as long as they don't fuck it up for Trench Crusade, is going to have extremely positive reception. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Your Honor, my client did not commit any crimes against humanity, only against elves. I don't feel like in a court of law that's not gonna hold up super well. I mean, far be it for me, unless you're in like a court run by dwarfs. I feel like you're gonna struggle with that one. Oh my good lord. Hey Dad, I heard that Cathay is gonna be a DLC faction, but I don't want to play as Cathay. No Dad, you don't have to play as Cathay. You can play as I don't want to fucking play as Cathay. Say you freaking piece of shit. Goddamn it, there's some history. Take Cathay out of the fucking game. I swear I won't pre-order this shit. I feel like this was I hate this meme. I hate this meme because I love this meme, but I hate this meme because there are so many actual people like this in the Total War community, and it drives me up a fucking wall. There's so many people that are like, well, I didn't want this to get expanded, and it's like, then don't fucking play it. Not everything's about you. Not everything has to be for you. You don't need to like everything. It is fine for there to be pieces of content that you just don't vibe with, because the world doesn't fucking revolve around you. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Let people have fun. Oh my god. We've already got like 100 legendary lords. You'll find something you like. Shut up. Jesus Christ. 2024 is as far from 1984 as 1984 is from 1944. Oh, shut up and leave me alone. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Oh, we got a crony and Mume meme. You're the most jealous... Okay, that's actually a really good meme. You're the most jealous owl I know. You know another owl? Oh, God. That's excellent. Fantastic. I love that meme. That's good. Yeah, nobody's stopping you from playing yet another... Let's be real. Let's be real, right? It doesn't matter how many new races and DLC factions they add. You're just gonna play Karl Franz again. We all know it. We all know. Remember to be jolly today and spend time with your family. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Coffin of Andy and Lele. I wonder what that could be referring to. Bay, I'm home. Oh god, not the fucking Grimace Shake, dude. I also got you a Grimace Shake on the way. Oh my god, the fucking, the brain rot girlfriend. Freddy Fazbear, welcome back to the crib. Save room for dinner, okay? W in the chat, bros, Rizmaxing for real, no
Sing
cap.
Wolf 11 cheered. X100. Oh, a new DLC came out. Time to play Belliger Iron Hammer again and see what's new.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong? Love you too much. Sigma deserves a reward of love. Is this love? Period. Normally I get these. I feel like I'm missing something. Is this loss? It doesn't look like... Wait, is it loss? Oh, because of the fucking... God damn it. I didn't recognize the Roman numerals. I hate it here. Oh, you know what? I should be rating your memes. I'm so sorry. I'm such an asshole. Actually, no, you don't get a heart. You get... You get disapproving Thorgrim. There we go. Heart. Do we have an elf thing? I don't remember. Yeah, we do. There we go. Bonk. Heart. Tinfoil hat, Sotek. That, because I don't understand how they tapped into my brain. Please no drink, cat. Greasus, perfect. This one got me to lecture for a bit, so heart. This one, fail, because it didn't stay. This one was good. Heart. I'll heart the rest of these later. Good lord, there's so many of these. Coffin of Andy and Sotek, get the fuck out. Get the absolute fuck out. No, absolutely not. No, I don't like any of the implications of that. No, absolutely not. Get off the counter. I ain't telling them. You tell them. Honestly, I mean, tigers, they're literally just big house cats. I mean, they're dangerous. They're extremely dangerous and deadly, but they're basically just big house cats. I think if you sprayed him with a water bottle, he'd probably get off. Hexschwaddle. This sucks. Last Defenders. I like the way this sucks. Cult of Sotek. I wish it would suck more. That's what she said. Tlaqua. Sure sucks down here. Ghosts of Bahawks. Kairos Fate Weaver. That sucked. This is going to suck. It's what? Decisive Victory? This sucks. This one is no longer accurate. I've heard that nowadays the Itza campaign is actually significantly harder. I've heard it's like way harder now because of Skulltaker. And then Spirit of the Jungle. Poor Nakai, dude. Nakai just always being depicted as he's lost. Poor guy. It's not fair to him. Very nice. I haven't seen that meme before. I like that one. the Sigmarite mommy from the Rule 34 artist side grabs tablet. I love this artist. This artist is super duper fun. Spear user versus the halberd enjoyer. Yeah, the Gyaru halberd wielder is very funny. Roses are red, violets are blue. Rhyming is hard. Me Grimlock. Poor Dino. Poor Grimlock. This is not my hashtag. Not my Grimlock. Hashtag not my Grimlock. I see that you have made 3 spelling mistakes. Last words of Marquis de Favras after reading his death sentence before being hanged. 1790. Nice. If you're gonna go out petty. Go out petty. BBC dropping this banger for delivering some absolutely terrible news. I wanted to see the terrible news. That is a banger. But I did want to see the terrible news, but that is a banger. Lord Farquaad King meme.
I'm not an incel. My internet friends called me king, see?
I know people like that. Me checking the rearview mirror after hearing a child scream when backing up. I've done that before. I've done that before, where you hear something, you're like, oh, please no. And then, like, you see the child, like, not behind you, but, like, somewhere off to the side. And you're like, ugh! I've been in that. That's, yeah. Person who discovered milk explained what he was doing to the cow. Yeah. It is weird to imagine how we've discovered a lot of the things that we eat. That is interesting to contemplate. Me trying to explain to my boss that working in an office full 5 feet of liquid merc. Oh my god, that's stupid. That is stupid. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. It's very dumb, but I do appreciate that stupidity. Your Honor, what if you are what you eat, then my client is an innocent man. Nice. Cannibalism. Classic. You would have turned into a dark matter servant if it was... Kittens, dude. Kittens are fucking dumb. They're adorable. They're delightful, but goddamn are they stupid. One of the BBC music stations was playing a song and briefly paused to say the Buckingham Palace announced the Queen's death. See, in context, it's much funnier. In context, that is much funnier. When your homies forget to wish you, never forget to wish your homies sweet dreams, guys. Come on. This is maidenless behavior. Make sure to please make sure to kiss your homies goodnight, or at least wish them home goodnight. But like, this is irresponsible. You should always wish your homies goodnight. Kent review 3 out of 10. Lacks animations, but he looks silly. You do look silly. He's just kind of accepting his fate, isn't he? AC is on. He has water and is listening to his favorite music. They do be vibing. Unboxing at a funeral. Nice. I can appreciate that. British to... Okay, that's actually quite funny. Grows the teeth back. That's not very nice. that's not very nice. Oh, lordy. Uh-huh. I have seen the Saw movie. It is true. There is a key in a man's stomach. Shit, man, this Wizard War is fucked. I just saw... Oh, yeah, I've seen this meme where it's just like... Yeah, say 10 hells or some similar shit and everyone around him turned inside out and then their tibia exploded and then disappeared. Camera didn't even go on him. That's how common this shit is. My ass is casting frostbite, level 2 poison. I think I heard power word scrunch 2 groups over. Get the fuck out of here. Though I genuinely enjoy the Wizard War memes. Because I think they could actually work very, very well in Warhammer Fantasy. Of like playing around with memes of like just a regular... Could you imagine being a regular, like... Imagine a hedge wizard, right? Not even a college wizard, just a hedge wizard. So a guy who specializes in like removing curses of bad luck, or like talking to the spirit of your house, or he's good at mixing potions to help with your acne or like your arthritis, and then he's out there in the middle of a battlefield where there's like a Zinch sorcerer fighting college magics, fighting dark elf sorceresses, fighting high elf archmages versus a Slon versus like just like insane mind-bending shit is being thrown around the battlefield, and he's just some poor little bastard who has no idea what he's doing. Excellent. When I grow up, I will be an amazing and cool person. You turn into Eustace Bag. Relatable. You call yourself a sailor? You ain't even got a boat. I ain't even seen you rig a jib or weigh an anchor, hauling for a brace or something. You're half legs and ain't got an ounce of sea in either of them. Reckon you don't know your leeward's from your headward, starwards from your larboards. Yeah, I need this in more Warhammer Fantasy format, but thank you. I do appreciate... I can't even remember this guy's... Legor Foghorn. Excellent character. I grew up with him. Well, Horus, this is exactly how I pictured your heresy would look. And it's everyone just being fucking goofballs. See, I feel like Horus would be a good example. Foghorn, Leghorn, I did backwards. I feel like... Do you ever think Horus had a moment when he saw the other Primarchs and how fucked up they had gotten? Where he was like... Maybe this was a mistake. maybe, just maybe, I am not running with the right crowd. Like, I don't know. You just wonder. The fucking Vermintide audio cue? That's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Nice. Very good. You get a unique one for that. You get a unique yes for that. That's fantastic. Psychers edging their perils. Well, okay, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Why is there edging their perils? Everything he's seeing is chaos. And then suddenly... Why is there a fucking Slaanesh Mage Priest in this? Why is there one of my favorite designs for a Slaanesh Mage Priest in the middle of all this chaos? What do you mean by this? Why are you disrespecting my Slann? How dare you? And also, I noticed that picture of Luna. I'm not blind. Fuck it. That is a mighty suspicious image. That is... It's nice art. Yeah, nothing like my Space Wolf waifu with her underboob out. That'll keep her safe. She'll do great on the battlefield. This must be advertising for the Space Wolves. Is this how the Space Wolves gets new recruits? Is this how it works? Is this how they advertise? Because you have to recruit, don't you, for Space Marines? You have to get like new kiddos and stuff for the you have to get new kiddos for your chapter. Is this how they do it for the Space Wolves? They just just put this out as advertising? Understandable. Have a nice day. Nice. God, that is one of the most zoomer fucking videos. Just the what is that sound called? What do they call that sound? You seen some art of Luna? Yeah. Yeah, I too have ventured into strange lands. And you know, there's some really skilled artists out there. Vine Boom, that's what it's called. That's what it's called. Sorry, I was somewhere else for a minute. Like, I feel like that's how you know you're dealing with someone that's brain rot. Like, that is the litmus test for brain rot. Is if you play a video and you just spam Vine Booms, if they laugh, they're brain rotted. They are completely gone. There's no saving them. Slap them in the straitjacket. Like, you can't save them. You can't save them. It's too late. Have I seen the Space Marine 2 Space Wolf helmets? Yeah, they actually look pretty cool. I would tell you what. Tell Space Marine 2 to hit me up when they add in the, what are they called? The Wolfrin, the what the fuck are they called? What are the mutants called? Like the actual like werewolves. Sign the Emperor. There's literally an audio drama, Warmaster, where Horus is reflecting on how the brothers he wanted on his side are all against him, while he's stuck with monsters like Angron and Kurz. Okay, so he did have a, oh, I'm the baddie moment. Fantastic. Wolfen. Yeah. Space Marine 2, hit me up. Hit me up when you add Wolfen. I'll make my character a Wolfen. I'll do it. I don't care. I'll do it. Though, if I remember right, I think Wolfen are like the shitty version of a werewolf. Like, they're not the good version of a werewolf. They're the shit version of a werewolf. Like, they don't have, like, the actual wolf head and, like, tail and stuff. They're just, like, really hairy men with claws. It's not very cool. Just kind of lame looking. If you're gonna commit to the bit, commit to the bit. You know what I mean?
Brayden, go back in your bed.
Oh, children. Oh, children. I wonder what he was about to attempt. Like, it looks like he was about to try and jump at something I can't see on camera. Like, maybe towards the vent or something? Like, is he trapped in this room? Why is this child trapped in this room? I have so many questions. But yeah, man, children, just one of life's miracles. I genuinely adore kids. I would love to have kids myself someday. I feel like that's never gonna happen with how the world is going. Boy, aren't they just magical? Biofoot, amazing stream. Now, who wants to check out this dark alley next to the beach with me? Oh yeah, I hear Biofoot has candy. Cool England fact, it sucks. I mean, England has some nice parts. There's some things I appreciate about England. I enjoy visiting it. I could be convinced to live there. Refusing to serve Nagash and exploding as a result. Kemmler, Cetra, and Zacharias. Oh man, you actually left out a few people too. Like you could put Archon the Black in this meme. Like he got better, but Cetra basically did explode him. I mean, he cut him in half. But oh wait. No, sorry. Serve Nagash. I got too caught up on the Cetra. I'm stupid. Yes, this is excellent. I also feel like who else, man? I'm trying to think. I want to say there's somebody else Nagash fucks over. Oh, well, you know, I feel like you could almost include all the vampires, but they wouldn't be exploding. But this is excellent. I like this. Good. Very good. Hello, Caleb Mitchell came from Warhammer 40,000. Hello, Grimnir from Asia Sigmar. Shattered. Yeah. Yeah, Grimnir, they definitely made Grimnir very, very, very 40k Kane coded. Though, sadly, we don't have avatars of Grimnir. That would be sick. I would actually genuinely love if, I would not be upset if fucking Fireslayers got Avatar of Grimnir as like a specialized Lord model, where it's like a Fireslayer that like swells into all that. Manfred didn't get exploded. Manfred got he got mutated by the Dark Gods, which got rid of his sight, and then while he was blind, Tyrion walks up behind him and stabs him in the back, and then burns him from the inside out with Sunfang. Ted Cruz eats batteries?
If we're not supposed to eat batteries, why'd they make them taste so good? What? Couple double A's, hell, even a D fits perfectly like it should.
You can't eat batteries.
Into my throat and down to my tummy.
You're gonna fucking die.
Yeah, it starts to feel funny, but if we're not supposed to eat batteries, why'd they make them taste so good?
I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
I fucking hate Ted Cruz. I hate that man so much. There is no word in the tongues of men, elf, or dwarf that expresses my deep, unfathomable hatred for Ted Cruz. God, he says the dumbest fucking shit, dude. And he's a spineless coward. He's just the worst. That dude's just the fucking worst. God damn, I hate him so much. Anywho, this mountain isn't big enough for 2 over tyrants. Oh, you're a tyrant, all right, just not an over tyrant. Oh yeah, what's the difference? Presentation! Fantastic, excellent. This is exactly how this conversation will go down. And then he would immediately eat him. I lived in Austin when he abandoned the state to the freeze. Yeah, I lived where I live now when he abandoned the state to the freeze, because he's a spineless, absolute piece of shit. And I hate him. The Waluigi run for him, fantastic. I love this meme. This is so accurate. I remember the very first time. I remember when we got early access. When we got early access of the Chaos Dwarf DLC for the content creators, and the first time I saw Astrogoth running, I was overjoyed. I was delighted. Because holy shit, the Waluigi run. Excellent. Fantastic. He may have not made it into Smash Brothers, but he did make it into Total War, and for that we will be eternally proud. Man, the guns. Join the Navy. I don't think Lokir Fellhard is that swole. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think he's got muscles like that. I feel like this is false advertising. Like I'm sure he's lean. That was your GIF in your first... Really, Hawk? This was the first GIF you ever made? Are you serious? This one's like fucking legendary. Like that is such a good, fantastic, like, for a first GIF. Like, goddamn, what like an epic beginning to a fantastic career of memedom. Yeah, that's when the trouble began. That smile, fucking, Gorda's backstabber. Jesus. Ah, that was a struggle. Aisling trying to stay out of combat. Crab. Try to avoid the crabbo, you get the stabbo. Crabs are terrifying. What are you gonna do? Excellent. Hey, Narian, should we increase? Oh my god, I fucking love this meme. This meme was so good. So, this meme was in reference to the COVID crisis, where it was about how like we were having the COVID pandemic, and like people were joking about like if the apocalypse was happening, like people's lives are in genuine danger. There's always going to be that asshole that's like, well, what about the economy? Like, I realize there's a global pandemic, but what about the economy? And putting that into Warhammer, where you have a Narian literally fighting like the 4 greater demons on the edge of the apocalypse, and there's some douchebag elf being like, but like, what if we increase taxes? what if we were going to approve taxes? Jiff, I'm sorry, chat, we have to put him down. I won't apologize. Listen, the man who created the format pronounces it Jiff. He made it. He gets to decide how you say it. That's how it works. If you discover something, you get to name it. And he called it Jiff. All right? I don't want to hear any shit about it. I don't want to hear any bullshit. It's how it works. If you make a format, you can call it whatever you want. Too bad, so sad. That's not how acronyms work. We don't pronounce an acronym based on how the words in the acronym are pronounced. That's not how that works. You don't get to say, well, it's graphic interface, so it should be GIF. No, that's not how that works. Ridiculous. It's GIF. I don't care what you say. There's nothing you can do to stop me. There's nothing you can do to stop me. It's always Garrick Apex week. Always was. This is rude. I don't even remember what NATO stands for. Oh, right. The North American Trade. Wait, is that right? Yeah. What about aluminum? Well, that's through a spelling thing. Oh, it's North Atlantic. I don't fucking remember. I'm American. I don't pay attention to anything. North Atlantic. Yeah. That's not, like... Yeah. I don't understand why we brought up NATO. I don't think that illustrates a point well. But, like, aluminum is spelled different, depending on where you are. Because if you're using the British spelling, it's spelled aluminium. But if you're using the spelling I think everybody else uses, it's aluminum. Like, it's not a pronunciation difference, it's a spelling difference. Barbecue? Yeah, I guess barbecue could be a decent example. Like, you wouldn't say BBQ, you'd say BBQ. You wouldn't say BBQ, even though it's barbecue. Anyway. Those dragons are up to something. Yeah, I remember this meme. I love this meme. This was fantastic when we were learning about Grand Cathay. Getting into that. Oh, man, I love this GIF, dude. I don't remember who the content creator is, and sadly, they don't make as much as they used to. but there was a content creator that was like fucking obsessed with the Saurus, and they just made like a bunch of just fantastic memes of Saurus doing things Saurus have no business doing, like a Saurus using and reloading a double-barreled shotgun, which is fantastic. I wish my Saurus did this. Fucking Ed. the Lawhammer memes. Oh, I remember they were so... Elric was so pissed when you got this, Hawk. Why does Kath look like she was... Like... Kath looks like she's not actually part of this picture. she looks so tacked on. She just... like, obviously she is. This isn't like a real picture, but she looks extra hilariously photoshopped into the picture. Compared to everyone else, which is so funny. But yes, I remember this was marvelous when you got everyone doing a thumbs up. Fantastic. Objection! Yeah. Fantastic. Excellent. No notes. I forgot to do hearts. There we go. Short! Boo! Get better material! Grudges alcohol, hates elves. Nonsense! Nonsense. He could talk about his short temper, or his shortness of patience, or his that's all I got. I ran out. Parry this, you filthy casual. Am I gonna play the Nippon mod when they come out? Yeah, of course. I'll give it a shot. Name? I have been awake since the breaking of the first. In that time, I have had many names. Pick one. Sauron. Sharon. I've never been to a Starbucks, so I don't have this experience. The devil whispered in my ear, "You're not strong enough to withstand the storm." I whispered back, "At least I didn't lose my golden fiddle to some hillbilly in Georgia." Hey, that's not okay. That's not very fair to fucking Johnny? What the fuck is the dude's name from A Devil Went Down to Georgia? I don't remember his name. It is Johnny. Okay, good. I still got it. It's like a steel trap. When pizza puts you on... Answer me! Yeah. Fucking... I should order a pizza. I should probably order dinner soon. Dude, yeah. Oh, man. This was me. This was absolutely me during the Immortal Empires trailer. I still think that's one of the absolute best trailers CA has ever made. I wish they'd make another one. This trailer was so fucking hyped, dude. It was so peak. It was so peak. Absolutely fantastic. What do we have here?
I see many leaders here. But do you even speak for your own people?
High King, now is not the time for short-sightedness.
Short?
I mean, to only look out for one's own in these troubling times is the height of foolishness.
I love this.
Height?
I love this game so much.
What are you doing?
No, I don't mean... They're misconstruing my... Okay, look, all I'm saying is that our petty squabbles are dwarfed by the enormity of... they simply don't measure up to... what I mean is that this bickering will only stunt our... to make so many races work in harmony is certainly a tall order.
Kill him! Shoot him up!
Enough! Teclis, my office, now. I am so sorry.
Not here!
Kill him! Shut him up!
Teclis, how do you think that went?
I mean, not amazingly, but they call each other short all the time. Why can't I say it?
Teclis! You know fine well there's context in history here. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I'm sending you to sensitivity training. I'm not about to let the damned forces of chaos have the moral high ground.
Forge Master, I ordered 4 hell cannons, yet you only have 3. You've come up short.
Short?
I'm sorry. I realize my choice of words may have been insensitive, considering the diminutive stature of your people, which I well know has no bearing on your worth as warriors or as individuals. I will strive to do better and choose my words more carefully in the future.
Thank you, Ever-Chosen. We gladly accept your gracious apology.
See, that's why he's Ever-Chosen. That's why he's able to unite the forces of chaos. It's because Archaon has a proper understanding of how to negotiate. It's so funny. I fucking love that meme. I love that, like, it's so good. Teclis being called into the office and sensitivity training is fantastic. fucking Thorgrim. Kill him! Somebody kill him! That's very funny. Turning Point Nagaroth. Hate Acer, hate Asrai, hate Chaos, not racist, just don't like them. Love Kane, love me crossbow, love me raids. Hate me Ken, hate myself, hate makes everything possible. What's very funny to me is that you could... This is clearly a dark elf, and it's supposed to be about a dark elf. But you could also very easily interpret this, especially based on the art, as being an ogre that lives in Nagaroth. Like, I feel like it could be either, and it would work fine. The art makes me, and the pronunciation and everything makes me feel like it's supposed to be an ogre that's, like, acclimated to life in Nagaroth. Even though what he's actually talking about is stuff an ogre wouldn't care about. Yeah, it's talking like a dark elf shade. Because, like, if you were gonna have country bumpkins, for the dark elves, it'd be the shades, because the shades are outcast. Beastlord cartelling has been about his plan to invade the Empire and sack the city of Altdorf in order to steal animals from their zoo. Excellent. I would watch that. I would read that comic or watch that book or whatever. That would a Rakarth heist to steal exotic creatures. I would be fully on board. A single exalted bloodletter gets a whole unit of exalted blood. A single exalted bloodletter inside a whole unit of exalted bloodletters who gets stabbed by a peasant. His entire unit after the battle is over. His entire blood host army after the exalted bloodletter. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, now I get it. Yeah. Just the fucking being just thrown at Albric without any concern. Is this voice acted, or is it just... Oh no, okay, it's just music. Greetings, Madlings! Me and the lads decided we wanted to move into your little Umgak village here in the Oblast, and we were wondering if we could bring a few flame cannons to defend against the onslaught of chaos. This is fantastic. I love so much. Like, I wish there was more of this when you got the allied garrisons. That, like, I wish it was almost more of like a random music you got, because the flame cannon being in Volksgrad is fucking fantastic. That's excellent. Then we have Teclis and fucking Vampire Ghost. The sad thing, this meme makes me sad. This meme makes me sad because it's outdated. This meme doesn't work anymore because Teclis isn't in Lustria. This meme only worked when we were in Lustria. Now it'd have to be like God, who's even near Luther Harkin anymore? What, it'd have to be like Albric? Yeah, maybe this is why Teclis moved. This is why Teclis left and went to the Southlands. He filed as many noise complaints as he could, and they just weren't taking it seriously. So they finally had enough. Excellent. Random Korean artillery gun hitting the USS Wisconsin in 1952. It turns it's not. yeah. Let's shoot that absolute monster of a piece of machinery and see what happens. USS Texas flooding her starboard side to shoot Yeah. Dude, there were some fantastic decisions, some fantastic memes, some fantastic situations that came out of the nightmares of the World Wars. Because this is genius and fantastic. An excellent meme. Excellent. No notes. Good. Russian fleet seeing fishing trawlers just off the coast of Britain in 1904. It's the Japanese! Man, fucking history memes. Do you see Japanese torpedo boats? I feel like these are all more references to this 1904 scenario. Which I'm not a big history buff compared to everything else. The Kamchatka signals it is sinking. Everyone liked that. Turned out it was a cracked steam pipe, which was fixed. Everyone dislikes that. I don't know what the Kamchatka is. I know the word. $17-pounder cannon won't fit. Put it in sideways. The radio won't fit. Cut a hole and have it stick out the back. The engine's no good. Get 5. The shit they did to get things to work in the World Wars, like the amount of like what almost feels like redneck engineering by today's standards, obscene and amazing and hilarious. Oh, there's a fun deep cut meme. The girl and her dog. I still remember this. I still remember being mad about this. The girl and her dog, because I remember being mad at the Warhammer Iceberg, because the Warhammer Iceberg, it should have been about one of the specific settings. The Warhammer Iceberg should have been about 40k, or it should have been about fantasy. The fact that it was both, I was so annoyed. Because I would get to some parts and be like, I don't know what this is about. Like the girl and her dog that wander through the crystal labyrinth and get out. And that's because it's not a thing in fantasy. This isn't a fantasy storyline. How am I supposed to know that? I don't know 40k shit. I stay in my lane. I stay in my lane! Were you fallen from heaven because you look like an angel? Yes, I am an angel. However, I'm from the Caliban. Most importantly, I am not fallen. See, I feel like this is a good meme, but I feel like if it was worded slightly better, it could be extra funny. Of her making the joke to like 2 Space Marines or 2 Dark Angels, and one of them is like, "Brother, are you fallen?" Dear Rabute, we have a score to settle, brother. Lorgar, look what has become of you. Ka! Oh my god, Korax, what the fuck? Yeah, I fucking know, right? Yeah, Korax, the weird shadow demon thing. That... Is that really what Lorgar looks like now? He's like a weird golden... horny dude? Krokgar. What is it, Lord Mom's money? I saw an elf. It was pretty. Kick its ass. At once, Lord. This was literally the opening advertisement for Total War Warhammer 2. Like, this is literally the very first show they did. This was the demo they did at cons, or not, well, I guess some cons as well, but like, shows that Creative Assembly was presenting the game at where you could test play it. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right. It is... I have authorization to ask them for uppies. No. May I? No. I think that is a reasonable place to stop. We got about halfway. That's pretty decent. So we got about halfway through the memes. We will definitely come back and do the other half at a later point. But overall, I enjoyed this. I think most of the memes were pretty fun. My track record was decent. My track record was pretty decent. Very few of them went over my head. Like, a couple of the history ones went over my head, and all that. But I think we could call it there for the evening. Hopefully, it was fun. I'm gonna be honest. I do not understand. I do not know if I am funny. I don't know if I am entertaining when I am not in my lane. And this is definitely outside my usual lane. So hopefully it was at least somewhat entertaining and you had a good time. I tried to insert lore stuff when I could. That way it was, you know, at least a little funny. Or educational, shall we say. If you can't be funny, you might as well try and sound like you're not a fucking idiot. But nothing about this was reasonable. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to order a pizza so me and my sister can have dinner, and then I'm gonna come back because we're gonna do some late night Final Fantasy. Because I've been feeling pretty good and I'm enjoying Final Fantasy a lot right now. Oh, thanks out. Sotek, sorry to spam this. I promised this last time. The Kamchatka was a ship that was a single entity on planet Earth responsible for the most international incidents. Oh my lord. Prior to Warhammer 1, it would see ships in panic, then shoot at them thinking they were Japanese. The only reason they didn't start the war 10 years early was because their gunnery was so shit they kept missing. That is fucking hilarious. That is genuinely very funny. Holy shit, that's funny. Oh my god, I need that. Oh, I need that so bad is a Warhammer thing. Like, I need that so bad as a Warhammer thing. Could you imagine if there was a whole meme about like an empire vessel that had a really bad interaction with Yeti13, thank you so much for the gift sub. Thank you. That's so kind. Oh, it's a Kislevite, so it should yeah, Kislevite vessel would be best. Yeah. So could you imagine there's a Kislevite ship out of Erengrad who like has a really bad interaction with Nippon. And then, like, as it sails back from Nippon, which is a long way back to Erengrad, right? Because they have to go all the way around the Southlands, all the way around the old world, back up into the Sea of Claws, to get to Erengrad. That would make for a hilarious story, where they're just, like, firing on everyone because they keep thinking, they keep being terrified that it's Nipponese ships. they're like firing on Bretonnian ships, they're firing on Empire ships, they fire on High Elf ships, they fire on like a Dark Elf Corsair fleet. Like that would be an excellent story to throw in for Kislev, I think, for Erengrad. I think that would be super funny. That's good. I like that. Good story. I'm glad to know that now. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining me. I'm going to send y'all off on some raids. So, please do behave yourselves based on where you end up. I'm going to send YouTube to our dear, lovely, wonderful, goddess who is both lovely, attractive, entertaining, and fascinating in all equal measure. The wife of Sanguinius. Aurelia Tempest. She is streaming, so we're gonna go over there. And then, you know what? Twitch, why don't we go to the same place? Let's just make it easy. Let's make tonight simple. So let's go hang out with Aurelia. We are going to be doing the Grease's Goldtooth Emirate campaign next Thursday. So this upcoming Thursday evening, me and Aurelia are going to be finally doing the campaign that was promised, because Creative Assembly helped us fix the problem she was having, because CA is nice and thankfully doesn't ignore me when I complain to them about things. So hope you all have a lovely evening. Please say hi to Aurelia for me, and I hope y'all looking forward to me playing some more Total War with her, with Emmerich and Grease's team up. And I'll see you guys maybe later if you'd like for some Final Fantasy, but if that's not your thing, that's totally fine too. I'll probably be back in like an hour and a half. So I hope to see you guys then, and if not, I'll see you just when I see you. Goodbye. Where's the music? There's the music. Did I see that last CA post? What? I don't see anything on here that I haven't already seen. So I guess I have seen it. Alright, anyway, get out of here! Get out of here! Hey, I literally just finished streaming.